Chapter 1722. However, the girl who showed up later, damn, her looks are super sick. I feel like I saw that girl when I breached the wall in the Independent State. I think she's some super best actress from many years ago. Too bad I couldn't tell for sure with her sunglasses. Big Dipper looked regretful. Yuan, 7-star, and the other two were too lazy to pay attention to Big Dipper's prattling. After ordering several family-sized buckets and stuffing themselves, Yuan called a taxi and guided everyone into the car, heading into the city. Sis Feng, China's economy isn't shabby. It's a lot more prosperous than the Independent State. Of course, it definitely can't compare to us if we're talking about level of wealth. Big Dipper watched the scenery outside the window. There's so few race cars, it's a bit meh. There's also too few private helicopters. Even old Seven and I own a private helicopter, Big Dipper remarked. Yuan, why don't I have one? That's a 5-star hotel in China. There's nothing great about it. Even the restaurants I usually eat at are more luxurious than that. Damn, they actually have bicycles. Everyone at least has a luxury car in the Independent State, the taxi driver snorted. Brother, I've heard bragging, but I've never seen someone bragging like you. A personal helicopter? Why don't you ascend to the heavens? The 5 of you are squeezed into a taxi, so what's there to brag about? 7-star. Yuan, first elder, third elder. China, the Yi residence. Inside the living room, Yi looked at the middle-aged man wearing a black suit in front of her and asked with a light chuckle, "You guys still haven't completed that tiny matter?" The middle-aged man chuckled too. CEO Yi, it doesn't work that way. Yi stared at him. Then how does it work? Everything needs to be reasonable, CEO Yi. Although Yi shouting did owe us an extortionate loan back then, he's paid off most of it. Now, CEO Yi, you want us to go and take away Golden Sea's, Liang Wanjuan's mansion. That's inappropriate. No? Yi shook her head. I don't think so. Although Yi shouting is almost done paying off the loan he owes you, he's not done yet. As long as you raise the interest a little higher, it wouldn't be any problem if you took away the Golden Sea's mansion. Moreover, you just have to take away the Golden Sea's mansion, and it'll be yours. Aside from that, I'll also give you this amount. Oh, the middle-aged man's eyes brightened at the number given to him by Yi. Yi wanted them to take away the mansion, and she'd give them a sum of money on top of the mansion. I understand. CEO Yi, you want us to make Liang Wanjun homeless, right? The middle-aged man suddenly asked her with a laugh. Everyone knew Liang Wanjuan's husband and eldest son killed Yi's father. Although Yi Shouting and Yi Mufan were arrested, it probably wasn't enough to satisfy Yi's hatred, so she wanted to turn Liang Wanjun homeless and wouldn't leave Yi Shouting's family at peace. She would send them all to ruin. That's exactly what I meant. Yi looked at the middle-aged man aloofly, her lips curling into a faint smirk. So can you do it? Chapter 1723. You're a frank person, CEO Yi. Since you said that, we'll definitely help you take care of this matter beautifully and perfectly. Don't worry, CEO Yi. We'll help you take back the Golden Sea's mansion for sure, and guarantee Liang Wanjun will leave penniless, end up homeless, and become a beggar. The middle-aged man stood up and assured her with a clap on his chest. Great. Yi nodded. I'm sure you don't need me to show you out. I'll await good news from you. Soon, the middle-aged man stood up and took his leave. He pulled out his phone and called several numbers. It didn't take long for several dozen people to rush over fierily with wooden clubs and other weapons hidden in their clothes before making their way to Golden Sea's. About half an hour later, the front door to a mansion at Golden Sea's was knocked on. It was a woman who opened the door. She looked like she was in her 40s or 50s and was dressed plainly with life's hardships carved into her face. Liang Wanjuan's face looked a lot older than before. Ever since Yi Shouting and Yi Mufan were arrested, she helplessly washed her face with her tears time after time, unable to do anything about the situation. If it weren't for her daughter periodically giving her assurance, Liang Wanjun probably wouldn't have been able to keep holding on. Liang Wanjuan's expression shifted when she saw the middle-aged man and his gang. Madam Liang Wanjun, look at the long trip we made here. Our legs and feet are seriously hurting. Shouldn't you invite us inside and give my brothers some tea to drink or something? The middle-aged man greeted her with a snicker. Liang Wanjun furrowed her brows slightly and shook her head. I'm the only one home, so it's not convenient. She then attempted to close the door. However, the middle-aged man reached out and caught the door, not giving her a chance to close it. What do you want? Liang Wanjun shouted. Madam Liang Wanjun, look at how you're talking. And you're asking us what we want. Your husband, Yi shouting, owes us money and still hasn't finished paying it off yet. That's the truth, no? Paying a debt owed is an unquestionable principle. It's clearly you who's acting shamelessly. So why are you making us out to be the scoundrels? That doesn't make any sense, right? The middle-aged man scoffed at her. Nonsense. Shouting told us he's paid off all the debt he owed you already. Liang Wanjun retorted. The things you say. Thank goodness we still have transfer records. Take a look for yourself. The middle-aged man ordered someone to give him the transfer documents and handed them to her. Liang Wanjun suspiciously skimmed the paper and saw from the transfer record that there was a final missing sum of about 10,000 renminbi. All right, I'll get it for you. Liang Wanjun turned and entered the house, but the middle-aged man and his group also followed her inside the mansion. Tut-tut, this mansion is rather nice. The middle-aged man examined the interior with satisfaction. Soon, this mansion would belong to them. Ignorant to his thoughts, Liang Wanjun quickly returned with a handkerchief in hand. In front of them, she carefully opened the handkerchief. Inside the handkerchief, there was a stash of worn $100 bills with a few small bills mixed in. It was evidently money that Liang Wanjun saved up through every means possible. Chapter 1724. 1724 Liang Wanjun reluctantly handed the man the 10,000 renminbi inside the handkerchief. The middle-aged man smiled and glanced at the money before accepting it. I've already paid the rest of the money back to you, so there shouldn't be any more problems, right? If everything is fine, you can leave now. Liang Wanjun started implicitly asking them to leave. The middle-aged man nodded and said, Madam Liang Wanjun, if you don't have anything else, you can leave now. What did you say? Liang Wanjun looked at him baffled. This middle-aged man wanted her to leave? I'm saying you can leave after handing over this mansion's title deed. The middle-aged man smiled at her. What do you mean? This house is mine. Liang Wanjun questioned. And it used to be yours. But it doesn't belong to you anymore. This house is interest. Interest? Liang Wanjun was incredulous. Didn't I pay back all the money we owed? Madam Liang Wanjun, what you pay back was the principal. The principal is the principal, and the interest is the interest. And this house, it's the interest, the middle-aged man replied. You're treating a whole house as interest $4.10, 000. Why don't you go rob a bank? Liang Wanjun was trembling from fury. Ha! Madam Liang Wanjun, what funny words you speak. We're loan sharks, and your husband knew we were loan sharks when he borrowed money from us back then. What's a loan shark? You borrow 10,000 and use a house as interest. That's what borrowing from a loan shark means. There's nothing wrong with that. The middle-aged man snorted. You're delusional. Liang Wanjun turned around and pulled out her phone, intending to call the police. I think you're being ungrateful. I'm giving you face, but you don't want it. Do you want to die? The middle-aged man's face immediately darkened when he saw Liang Wanjun about to call the police. He snatched the phone and ruthlessly crushed it. You wretched robbers, bandits, scum. Liang Wanjun was tied to a chair and started cursing at the middle-aged man and his gang. Madam Liang Wanjun, you're mistaken. We aren't robbers, bandits, or scum. We're loan sharks. The middle-aged man retorted with a light chuckle, not the slightest bit enraged. Liang Wanjun was about to say something when the doorbell suddenly rang. The middle-aged man was startled. Liang Wanjun herself was bewildered. She didn't know any of the nearby neighbors, nor did she ever have any visitors. She had been alone at home this whole time. Strange. Sis Fong said it was this one, no? Why isn't there anyone home? A faint voice drifted from outside the door. Old 7, do we have a wrong place? Seriously, Why isn't Sis phone back yet from buying all those knickknacks? Anyone home? If someone's home, open the door. The speaker's volume increased. The middle-aged man frowned and had an underling open the door. As soon as the door was opened, Big Dipper and Seven Star quickly entered the house. So many people here. Hello, everyone. I'm Big Dipper, and he's Seven Star. Sis phone told us to come in first. Big Dipper greeted the middle-aged man and his group with a grin. Sis phone? You are. Liang Wanjun looked at the two newcomers with confusion. Chapter 1725. 1725, Big Dipper and Seven Star immediately turned to look at the tied-up Liang Wanjun. Auntie, why are you tied to a chair? Big Dipper looked at Liang Wanjun in confusion and incomprehension. Seven Star glanced at his partner. Isn't it obvious? Don't be so polite, everyone. Why are you all standing? Sit down. Sis phone will be back in a bit, Big Dipper said to everyone in the living room with a smile. Everyone looked at each other. Where did this idiot come from? Punk, where did you come from? The middle-aged leader sneered. Where? The airport, Big Dipper answered. Before the middle-aged man could respond, Big Dipper turned to look at the door. Yuan Wan was currently entering the mansion with an array of bags in tow, and First Elder and Third Elder following behind her. Inside the bags were gifts Yuan Wan purchased for her mother, Liang Wanjun. There wasn't much to bring back from the independent state, so she went on a spending spree at a shopping center near the mansion, but bringing Big Dipper and Seven Star along with her would be too eye-catching. Hence, Yuan Wan gave them the address and had them wait for her at the door. When Yuan Wan entered the house and saw how lively it was, she was also taken aback. What's going on? Wan. Liang Wanjun was first startled upon seeing the sudden return of the long MIA Yuan before excitement and disbelief burst from her eyes. However, Yuan Wan's joy disappeared as soon as she saw Liang Wanjun tied to a chair. I was wondering who it was. It turns out your daughter came back. The middle-aged man superficially smiled at Yuan Wan. Wan, hurry and leave. Call the police. These guys are bandits. Liang Wanjun instantly shouted to her. Bandits? The middle-aged man shook his head mockingly. Look at what you're saying. How can we be bandits? We're the most reasonable people possible. It's a universal principle to pay back money owed. You owed us money, so how do we suddenly become bandits? I think you're the bandits here. Huh. Oh, so you're loan sharks, huh? Yuan Wan swept her eyes over the middle-aged man and his group. What? Isn't it obvious? The middle-aged man chuckled. Great. I love to talk reason with people. Yuan Wan turned to Third Elder and ordered, close the door. We'll talk some reason with them today. Third Elder slammed the door shut with an ear-shattering bang. Be gentler. You nearly shattered the door. Yuan Wan's lips twitched as she looked at Third Elder. Third Elder. How interesting. So you like to talk reason? That's great. The middle-aged man stared at Yuan Wan with an amused smile on his lips, as though Yuan Wan and her group were meat on a chopping board. Tell me how much money we owe you. Yuan Wan first loosened a rope around Liang Wanjun before leading her to nonchalantly sit down on the sofa in the living room. Not much. You just owe us this mansion, so giving us this mansion will do. We're very reasonable, the middle-aged man answered. Wan, don't listen to his nonsense. Your father nearly paid back all the debt he owed to them and was missing just 10,000 or so, and I gave it all to them just now, Liang Wanjun hastily interjected. Chapter 1726. I said this earlier. 10,000 is the principal, and this house is the interest. The middle-aged man sneered. Yuan Wan looked at him and expressionlessly asked, So you're saying that a principal of 10,000 requires a whole mansion as interest? Of course. We're loan sharks. Don't you know what a loan shark is? We're loan sharks. That's reasonable, right? The middle-aged man looked at her. Damn, you're shadier than me. Big Dipper gave the middle-aged man a thumbs up. In the independent state, their fearless alliance was shady enough already, but to his surprise, there were people in China shadier than them. A principal loan of 10,000 renminbi actually required interest equivalent to a mansion. Following a line of thought, It is rather reasonable. Yuanwan nodded. Everyone was startled by her words, especially Liang Wanjun. She didn't understand what Yuanwan was thinking at all. I can give you the house. That's fine. Yuanwan smiled. Yeah, you're rather sensible, the middle-aged man said. As long as you give us the house, we can leave you alone and won't come back. You want to leave? No need to rush. Yuanwan shook her head. You have other inquiries? He asked. Of course. Now that you're done talking about your reasoning, it's time to chat about our reasoning. Yuanwan's lips curled into a bewitching smile. Your reasoning? The middle-aged man was taken aback. What brand of reasoning could they have? You trespassed on private property and tied my mother to a chair. Both my mother and I suffered a fright and require 100 million as compensation. This is our reasoning, Yuanwan replied. The middle-aged man and his group froze in their spots. Guffaws quickly erupted in the mansion. Little girl, what right do you have to be so unruly? The middle-aged man asked Yuanwan. What right? Yuanwan snorted. We're bandits. Ha ha, you feeble weaklings. The middle-aged man wore an exaggerated smile on his face. However, following his words, Third Elder's face darkened and his hand shot out, ruthlessly hitting the middle-aged man in the face with a bang. A second later, the middle-aged man flew back and heavily crashed into the wall. Ah, sister, I'll go on a walk with you. First Elder walked toward Liang Wanjun and led her out of the mansion by her elbow. Third Elder, look, this is how you're inferior to First Elder. First Elder is shrewder and has more brains than you. Big Dipper mocked the elderly man. Third Elder glared at him harshly. An idiot like you is mentioning brains to me? Big Dipper, feeling like he'd been suppressed by First Elder again, Third Elder vented all of the raging fury inside him at the loan sharks. Within moments, the loan sharks were squatting in the corner and clutching their heads, not daring to even breath loudly. Is this old man a freaking monster? You. The middle-aged man's face was deathly pale as he looked at Yuanwan and her group, the blood by his lips still fresh. What kind of monster did I provoke? An old man who looks like he has a foot in his coffin is beating dozens of my men up like we're children. Chapter 1727. How about this? I'll give you the house. It'll count as 50 million. You owe us 100 million, and since I'm taking back the house, you still owe us 50 million. That's reasonable, right? Yuanwan looked at the middle-aged man with a light chuckle. The middle-aged man maliciously spat out. Load of fucking bullshit. You want to die? Fuck your father. Big Dipper directed a vicious flying kick at the middle-aged man's head. You should thank me for being merciful, or else a kick from your grandfather, me, would have shattered your head. Big Dipper glared at the middle-aged man. Where did you get the guts to rob your way to Sis Feng's house? Do you freaking want to die? Double E, we aren't robbing. We're loan sharks. One of the middle-aged man's subordinates fearfully denied it. You dare to make excuses? Big Dipper slapped the young man's mouth. After being slapped, the young man hastily turned around, not daring to say another word. You still owe us 50 million, correct? Yuanwan pressed with a grin. The middle-aged man gritted his teeth and had no choice but to nod. Correct. Everything you say is correct. 7-star, make him write down the debt amount so he can't deny it later. We're all reasonable people. Yuanwan looked at 7-star. 7-star immediately found a pen and paper and made the man write it down and also press down a bloody handprint. If there's nothing else, we'll leave now, the middle-aged man said. No hurry. Yuanwan smiled. Who sent you here? There had to be a mastermind behind these people, or else they definitely wouldn't have been so gutsy. No one directed us. The middle-aged man vehemently shook his head. Big Dipper, beat him until he spits out the mastermind, Yuanwan ordered. Hee. Don't worry, Sis Feng. I'm good at this. Big Dipper twisted his neck with a mischievous laugh and picked up the middle-aged man by his lapels. Dee don't. I'll talk. It's the Yi family. It's Yi who ordered us to do this. The middle-aged man immediately sold Yi out to prevent himself from being beaten again. CEO Yi gave me a sum of money and told us to take this mansion away. After taking this mansion away, she said she'd also give it to us. Her objective was to make sure your family won't be at peace and turn your mother into a beggar. The middle-aged man continued, divulging everything he knew. Yi. A cold glint glittered in Yi Wanwan's eyes when she learned that it was Yi. That family seriously acted like flies. She didn't seek retribution from them yet, but they decided to serve themselves to her. Scram! I'll be your son if you let me see you again. Ha. Big Dipper kicked the middle-aged man out the door. Upon seeing this, dozens of young men raggedly scrambled out after the middle-aged man. Moments later, First Elder led Liang Wanjun back into the house. Sister, look, isn't this matter resolved? Don't worry. First Elder reassured her with a smile. Liang Wanjun walked to Yi Wanwan and inspected her up and down. Wanwan, are you okay? Where did those people go? Mom, the problem's taken care of. Don't worry, Yi Wanwan replied with a smile. It had only been a few months, but Liang Wanjun looked like she'd aged 10 years, causing a painful pang in Yi Wanwan's heart. Liang Wanjun was confused about what caused those people to leave, but didn't press the matter. She merely looked at Yi Wanwan and meticulously examined her. Chapter 1728, Wanwan. Where did you go these last few months? A while later, Liang Wanjun finally asked. Sister, we've been doing business with Wanwan, and we're rather busy these past few months. Wanwan kept insisting on coming back to visit, but there wasn't much we could do since the business depended on her. See, didn't we come back as soon as we had time? First Elder answered Liang Wanjun in Yi Wanwan's stead. Thank you. You must have been taking care of Wanwan this whole time. After my long talk with you, I feel that you're very knowledgeable and have great respect for you. I'm reassured knowing that Wanwan's doing business with you, Liang Wanjun said to First Elder. Sister, don't worry. We're business partners and trust each other. The business is doing pretty good too, so you'll be able to live comfortably in the future, Third Elder hastily interjected, unwilling to be outdone. Good. Thank you, everyone. May I ask what kind of business you're all doing? Liang Wanjun looked curious. Annie, we opened a giant company that does all sorts of business free of capital, like robbing money, goods, people. We do it all. We previously wanted to manufacture firearms, but sadly, we didn't dare. Otherwise, we'd have earned even more money. Big Dipper suddenly said, Yi Wanwan, First Elder, Third Elder, 7-star. All sound was vacuumed out of the room following Big Dipper's words. What? Did I say something wrong? Big Dipper asked. Sister, this friend is the most humorous out of all of us and loves to joke, First Elder said with a chuckle. Big Dipper wanted to retort, but was silenced by a frightening glare from Yi Wanwan. Right. I love to joke. I once wanted to make a rocket to visit the moon. Big Dipper awkwardly laughed. Liang Wanjun finally felt at ease and looked at Big Dipper reproachfully. Child, it's fine if you told a joke like this in front of close friends, but you can't casually tell it to everyone. You'd have gotten into big trouble if people took it seriously. Yes, Annie's right. I won't joke around anymore. Big Dipper nodded frantically. You've all worked hard. Let's have lunch at home. I'll go buy some groceries now. Due to Yi Wanwan's return, Liang Wanjun's spirits improved immensely. Mom, I'll go with you. Yi Wanwan stood up and followed her. On the dining table, Liang Wanjun looked at Yi Wanwan. All right, Wanwan, where's your boyfriend? Boyfriend? The other 4 people immediately turned to Yi Wanwan. Why didn't they know the president had a boyfriend? In order to keep Liang Wanjun from overworrying, Yi Wanwan explained after a moment of contemplation. Mom, he hasn't been in the country lately. There's some overseas business that requires his attention. Liang Wanjun furrowed her brows. She felt like her daughter was hiding something from her. Did Wanwan break up with her boyfriend? She remembered that Wanwan previously mentioned her boyfriend was just an employee at the C Corporation. So why did he have overseas business? However, Liang Wanjun wouldn't pursue the matter if Yi Wanwan didn't want to talk to her about it. After eating lunch together, Yi Wanwan had the other 4 stay at home. She told First Elder and Third Elder to carefully watch Big Dipper and stop him from running his mouth off. Meanwhile, She put on her sunglasses and went to the prison facility to visit Yi Mu Fan and Yi Shouting. Chapter 1729, Yi Wanwan first went to a law firm to hire a lawyer before bringing the lawyer with her to the prison. After a negotiation with her lawyer, Yi Wanwan finally saw her father, Yi Shouting, as she wished. Currently, Yi Shouting was sitting across from Yi Wanwan with shackles around his wrists and wearing a prisoner's uniform, looking wan and sallow. Wanwan, why are you here? Yi Shouting was shocked at the sight of Yi Wanwan, joy surfacing in his eyes. During their time of imprisonment, Liang Wanjun visited often and told him that Yi Wanwan was searching for proof of their innocence. Dad! Pain crept into Yi Wanwan's eyes at the sight of her father's haggard looks. Wanwan, it's fine if you didn't find any evidence. Yi Shouting hastily forced a smile when he saw Yi Wanwan's expression. Since someone was intentionally framing them, why would they allow other people to easily discover their tracks? Dad, don't worry. Now that I'm back, absolutely nothing will happen to you. Believe me, Yi Wanwan promised, meeting Yi Shouting's eyes. Even if this seemingly aged man wasn't her biological father, she always treated him as her biological father in her mind, and that had never changed. It's fine, Wanwan. Just try your best. Yi Shouting continued to smile, thinking that Yi Wanwan was merely comforting him. If Yi Wanwan really found evidence, she would have submitted the evidence long ago. Before Yi Wanwan could say anything else, Yi Shouting was taken away due to a time limit. A moment later, Yi Mu Fan was brought inside. Yi Mu Fan's head was shaven, and there were shackles and a prisoner outfit on him. He looked rather slovenly. Damn, Wanwan, you're here. I thought it was Mom. When Yi Mu Fan saw her, his eyes shone, and he instantly became spirited. After they were framed, Yi Wanwan disappeared without any news, and they hadn't seen her at all these past few months. How are you doing in there? Yi Wanwan asked him. Ow, what do you think? Your brother was born tender and delicate, so how could I do well in here? I nearly lost my virtue. Damn, thank goodness I'm clever and have a high EQ. So I'm getting by decently in here, Yi Mu Fan answered. Yi Wanwan, judging from Yi Mu Fan's tone, he wasn't merely getting by decently, but he was also living rather comfortably. Wanwan, it must have been those two bitches, Liang Mei Xian and Yi Yi, who framed me. It must have been Liang Mei Xian who killed Yi Shaoan. Have you found evidence yet? The trial will be held soon. If you haven't found evidence yet, Dad and I will seriously go to heaven to protect you and Mom, Yi Mu Fan said while looking at her. Yi Wanwan glanced at him. She originally thought these past months would have made Yi Mu Fan become more mature and responsible, but she was expecting too much from the current looks of it. I haven't found proof yet, Yi Wanwan replied truthfully. Huh? You haven't found proof? Yi Mu Fan looked at her, dumbfounded. It's over, we're fucked. I'm telling you, that bitch Liang Meixian must have been cautious and definitely wouldn't leave any evidence behind for such a serious matter. If this matter came to light and proof was found, she'd be the fucked one. Chapter 1730, Yi Wanwan didn't refute Yi Mu Fan's words. Liang Meixian was very cautious indeed, and it wouldn't be easy to uncover evidence against her. I can now confirm that it was Liang Meixian and Stewart Huang who teamed up to frame you, Yi Wanwan said to Yi Mu Fan after a moment of contemplation. Stewart Huang. Yi Mu Fan was shocked. I previously followed Liang Meixian and saw that she had an affair with Stewart Huang, and they were connected to Yi Shaoan's death. They were the perpetrators, Yi Wanwan explained. Damn, I knew there was something fishy between that damn bitch Liang Meixian and old fucker Huang. They kept sending looks at each other all day long. They seriously had an affair? Nice, Wanwan. Good job discovering that. Yi Mu Fan gave her a thumbs up. Give me some time, and I'll definitely clear your guilt, she promised. Shit, Wanwan, you need to be quick. There really isn't much time before the trial is held. If you don't have evidence to prove Dad's and my innocence, it'll be awful. Right? Did you bring me any roast duck? My taste buds feel so bland. Yi Mu Fan's words took a sharp turn in the middle, and he stared at her intently. Yi Wanwan, I didn't. Yi Wanwan frowned. You can eat as much roast duck as you want when you get out. When I get out, why would I still eat roast duck? Yi Mufan curled his lips. Time's up. Before they could continue, Yi Mufan was led out of the room. Since time was limited, Yi Wanwan didn't linger and quickly left the prison. After telling the lawyer to head back, Yi Wanwan called a car to return to the Golden Seas mansion. As soon as she entered the house, she saw Liang Wanjun, First Elder, Third Elder, and Seven Star playing First Elder together while Big Dipper was leaning over behind Seven Star. Old Seven, play this. Why aren't you using your bomb? Play the big joker. What are you afraid of? You also have the little joker. Big Dipper kept rambling. Seven Star frowned and glanced at him. Can you be quiet? I'm the landlord. Soon, everyone else learned all of Seven Star's card from Big Dipper and successfully thrashed Seven Star, making him lose a round. Old Seven, actually, there's something wrong with your technique. Big Dipper looked pensive. Scram. Pre-Wan-Wan, you're back. First Elder greeted Yi Wan-Wan, who had just entered the house. Liang Wanjun stood up and cleaned up a bit upon seeing Yi Wan-Wan return home. Wan-Wan, entertain the guests. I need to go out and buy more groceries. We'll have dinner at home tonight. Okay. Yi Wan-Wan nodded. After Liang Wanjun left, Yi Wan-Wan didn't bother with a prelude and left the house with the other four in tow. Half an hour later, they arrived in front of the Yi residence. Yi Wan-Wan took out photos of Liang Meixian and Stewart Huang, showing them one by one. These next few days, keep a close watch on these two for me. Take photos and record videos if you can. Remember to prevent yourself from being discovered by anyone, Yi Wan-Wan instructed. With their profession, this tiny task shouldn't be a problem. They didn't know her intention, but none of them questioned her. They nodded in agreement. Secretly, though, they judged their president for using a sledgehammer to crack a nut by making them do something as minor as stalking. Chapter 1731. For the next few days, the quartet secretly watched and stalked Liang Meixian and Stewart Huang during the day and returned to the mansion to rest during the night without any problems. As for Yi Wan-Wan, after she temporarily settled her mother down, she naturally had to visit Han Xinyu and the others. At the same time, at Han Xinyu's mansion in the suburbs of Beijing. In the living room, Han Xinyu and Luo Chun sat on the sofa, exhausted, while Jiang Yanran stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling window with a lost expression. As for Gong Su, he was anxiously pacing back and forth in the room without a second's pause. Fei Yang, who was sitting in front of the desk and looking at his laptop, finally lost his patience and pinched his eyebrows while looking at Gong Su. Little ancestor, can't you sit down peacefully for a moment and stop wandering in front of me? Gong Su exploded like a lit firecracker, his bird nest of hair swaying to and fro with his shouting. Damn, your young master is about to be abducted by a group of bandits and hoodlums to shoot a porno. So what if I'm pacing? Have I even lost the right to pace? Huh? Fei Yang pushed his glasses up with an exasperated expression. What did Gong Su having to shoot a porno have to do with him wildly pacing back and forth like a perpetually bouncing spring? However, Fei Yang knew Gong Su was in a bad mood, so he swallowed his words, unable to reproach him. Fine, fine, fine. Keep pacing if you can strip less for every circle you pace. Xiao Qing, who was helping Luo Chun organize his clothes, feebly interjected. Compared to Brother Su, Brother Xinyu and Brother Chun are more tragic. Dong Zai nodded in agreement. Right. Brother Xinyu was forced to give up his role in that Hollywood blockbuster and keeps having to surrender all his hard work to that Ling Xiaojia from Emperor Sky. And Brother Chun has to keep that awful princess company every day. Brother Chun, that harpy didn't do anything to you, right? Luo Chen's expression stiffened a little, and he aloofly responded with a grim expression. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. You just need to take good care of the company. Xiao Qing's face was brimming with indignation. Is there really no one who will prevent Emperor Sky Entertainment from relying on their gangster background to tyrannize everyone like that? Next to the window, Jiang Yanran calmly replied, their background is too complicated, and they are all extremely malicious and savage people. Who would dare to control them? Dongzai mumbled, why don't we all leave the age of immortals together then? As soon as Dongzai said that, Luo, Chun, Gong Su, Jiang Yinran, and the silent Han Xinyu all simultaneously said no. The four of them met each other's gazes and turned quiet. Gong Su hummed furiously. Leave? No way. The age of immortals is Brother Ye's life and blood. It's the empire, brother. Yi conquered for us. How could we possibly yield it to someone else? If we left, we would let Brother Yi down. Jiang Yinran's lost expression solidified into determination. Anyway, I will never leave. Luo Chen also inputted, I'll stay behind and wait for Brother Yi to return. Han Xinyu's gentle and comforting voice rang out. The situation isn't that serious. After all, our influence is still here, so they wouldn't dare to go too far. Although Han Xinyu said that, none of their expressions eased up. They knew that gangsters were a troublesome problem for them. Gong Su acted like an abandoned pet and withering plant and plunked his head on the coffee table with a whimper. I miss Brother Yi a lot. Chapter 1732. An oppressive silence enveloped the room, following Gong Su's listless grumbling. That's right. How could they not miss her? That girl who was brilliant like the blazing sun. It was as though she could accomplish anything she wanted and create miracles at any desired moment. It was as though they were invincible and every inch of darkness could be dispersed as long as she was there. There was no doubt that she was the soul of the age of immortals in everyone's hearts. Fei Yang recalled that brilliant girl in his mind and sighed. I'm afraid that this time, the Yi brother and sister are in a great mess and are head over heels in their own troubles. Luo Chen asked, has Brother Yi contacted any of you recently? The people in the room all shook their heads. Jiang Yinran looked grim. I hope Wanwan is okay. No matter how fearsome and capable she was just a girl inside. Her father and brother were both imprisoned, while her second uncle's family developed a relationship with the mafia. It was uneasy enough for her to manage to protect herself. Having a lack of news was actually the best news possible. Yi Wanwan had been missing for several months now. She disappeared into thin air without a trace, and they couldn't contact her regardless of the method. Some people said she embezzled funds and fled the country, while others claimed she died. Gong Su suppressed the panic and worry in his eyes and furiously shouted, That's the person I took a liking to. There's no way something bad would happen to her that easily. One day, my brother Yi will come and pick me up while riding a trail of rainbow-colored, auspicious clouds. Ding dong. At that moment, the doorbell suddenly rang. I'll open the door. Xiaoqing hastily put down the clothes in her hands and dashed toward the front door. Who is it? Xiaoqing opened the door and carelessly looked up. When she saw who it was, she became dumbstruck on the spot. Brother. Xiaoqing's screeching successfully attracted everyone's attention. They all swiftly stood up and sprinted to the door, thinking it was those people coming to make trouble again. Xiaowei, what happened? Han Xinyu looked serious. Be Brother Yi. Brother, it's Brother Yi. Xiaoqing's joyous screams nearly shattered the windows. At the same time, the other occupants also reached the door and saw a girl in a casual black outfit standing at the entrance, looking like she had just returned from a journey. Ahem, baby, I'm glad you're so enthusiastic about seeing me. The girl chuckled softly upon seeing Xiaoqing about to faint from her excitement. A second later, she looked up and saw the dumbfounded and astonished people standing by the hallway. Hey, long time no see. It was still that stunning and gorgeous face, but someone seemed to have changed a little. She gave off an unfamiliarity at first, but a sense of familiarity returned to them full blast the second the girl opened her mouth with a faint smile. So familiar that tears rushed to their eyes. Brother Yi. Wanwan. Wah. Brother Yi. I swear my mouth is freaking blessed. You really came to pick me up riding a trail of rainbow-colored, auspicious clouds. Gong Su shoved Jiang Yanran and Luo Chen to the side and pounced on Yi Wanwan like a husky stripped free of his leash. However, before Gong Su could throw himself into Yi Wanwan's arms, an apathetic youth swiftly stepped forward from behind her and blocked Gong Su from approaching like a door guardian deity. Gong Su was taken aback at first before shock shattered him like he was struck by lightning. His face looked like he was a tragic wife who discovered her husband had an affair on the outside and looked like he was about to faint from heartache. Brother Yi, you actually got a dog outside behind my back. Chapter 1733. You actually got a dog outside behind my back. Yi Wanwan's eardrums were nearly pierced from the enormous sound wave that slammed into her face. In the midst of Gong Su's breakdown, a head popped up from behind Yi Wanwan's shoulder. Big Dipper blinked. Dog? Where? Gong Su blankly stared at Big Dipper's face for a second before exploding on the spot. You actually got two. Yi Wanwan, enough already. 7-Star was afraid of people in China hurting Yi Wanwan, so he didn't want her going out by herself and followed her. As for Big Dipper, he heard he would be able to see his goddess and doggedly insisted on coming along. If she knew it would turn into such a ruckus, she would have come on her own. Even Luo Chun and the others were shocked at the sight of the two unfamiliar, eye-catching youths standing next to Yi Wanwan, let alone Gong Su. Brother Yi, these two are... Luo Chun hesitantly asked. Could they be artists newly taken in by Brother Yi? This was everyone's first thought. After returning to China, Yi Wanwan fussed with even First Elder and Third Elder, let alone two excellent potentials, Big Dipper and 7-Star. Out of habit, Yi Wanwan gave the duo a giant makeover, so their appearances could hold a candle to a celebrity's, and they emitted a very unique and distinctive aura. Their looks could easily cause misunderstandings. Fei Yang's eyes were shining as he inspected the two youths. Director Yi, are they artists you picked up outside? Gong Su still looked like a girl betrayed by her partner. Brother Yi, you promised that you wouldn't accept anyone aside from Blockhead and me. Yet you picked up two at once. Yi Wanwan exasperatedly said. What blanks are you blindly filling? These two are my friends, not artists I signed. Friends. Gong Su's eyes darted between Big Dipper and 7-Star, and he examined their faces for half a day before decisively announcing, their faces aren't convincing at all. Yi Wanwan tousled Gong Su's burdened hair with a dark expression. It's been a while since I've seen you, but why haven't you aged at all? Still so childish. When Gong Su heard this, he got hooked onto a random point. His previous fury abruptly switched to happiness. Of course. I take good care of myself. Yi Wanwan. After a round of chaos, Yi Wanwan led Big Dipper and 7-Star inside the house. Wanwan. Jiang Yinran hugged her with reddened eyes. It's great. I'm glad you're fine. I'm glad you're fine. We were all worried to death when you disappeared for so long. Sorry, I ran into a problem and couldn't contact you guys. No worries, no worries. It's good that you're back. All right, allow me to introduce you. These two are friends I met overseas, Big Dipper and 7-Star. Yi Wanwan introduced simply. What unique names. Hello. Jiang Yanran and the others all greeted them and introduced themselves. Only Gong Su remained on high alert and looked at them from the corners of his eyes, displeased. Big Dipper excitedly looked at Jiang Yanran. Hello, goddess. I really met you in person. I'm your fanboy goddess. Are you really an artist under Sis F? Sissy? 7-Star merely nodded in greeting and relaxed when he saw Yi Wanwan's familiar attitude toward these people. Big Dipper was a particular social butterfly and didn't take long to familiarize himself with everyone. Chapter 1734. No. I'm jealous. Brother Yi, the first person you sought out when you returned from abroad was actually Brother Xinyu. Gong Su complained, brimming with jealousy. Yi Wanwan raised her eyebrows and spoke matter-of-factly. Isn't that natural? You're awful, Brother Yi. Gong Su wanted to scratch her in anger, but couldn't find anything to retaliate. First come, first serve. There was nothing he could do about the fact that Brother Yi knew Brother Xinyu the longest and had the best relationship with him. Yi Wanwan's joking expression slipped off her face. Was everyone fine while I was gone? In truth, she visited Han Xinyu first because she wanted to understand the company's situation as fast as possible. So Han Xinyu was the most suitable option. She didn't expect everyone to also be there, which was perfect. As soon as Yi Wanwan asked that, Gong Su's grievances were about to erupt, and he wanted to unleash all of his bitterness. Before Gong Su could respond, though, Luo Chan suddenly pinched his waist, eliciting a yelp of pain. "Shit, blockhead, why did you pinch me?" Gong Su angrily glared at him. Luo Chan didn't even look at Gong Su, as though he wasn't the one who pinched the man. Without revealing anything in his expression, Luo Chan answered, "Brother Yi, don't worry. We're all fine." Gong Su, though, damn. What do you mean fine? How am I fine? I'm about to curl into a ball for my mistreatment. Before the age of immortals was acquired, who in the company would dare to mistreat him? He was the king of the mountain, the beloved pet of the group, the guardian treasure of the house. Now, he was about to become a doormat. Gong Su was about to speak when he got pinched by Luo Chen again. Yi Wanwan recalled the broadcast she saw when she was in the independent state. Emperor Sky Entertainment acquired the age of immortals? Luo Chen and the others' expressions dimmed. It was Han Xinyu who answered. "I'm very sorry, Yibai. I wasn't able to protect the company, but this was the best option under our circumstances. The company suffered a great impact due to CEO Ye's charge of homicide. Our chain of funds was broken, and we faced bankruptcy. Although Emperor Sky's acquisition was the same as looting a burning house, at least it saved the company, and the company's operations are rather stable, with Yao Jiawen standing in for CEO Ye's position." Han Xinyu's expression turned calm toward the end of his explanation, his eyes carrying an innately soothing quality. It was as though the dust really settled and nothing bad happened. It was as though this matter was peacefully resolved and they didn't suffer any tyrannical and unfair treatment. Yi Wanwan looked at Han Xinyu and the others with turmoil in her eyes. "Did Emperor Sky make things difficult for you?" Jiang Yinran hastily replied, "Although the company was acquired, our status is undeniable, so they didn't dare to do anything much to us." Based on Han Xinyu and Jiang Yinran's explanation, allowing Emperor Sky to acquire the company was their own choice and the most suitable option at that time. However, the reality was completely different. How could they hand over the company they created with their own hands to their archenemy? Back then, all of them resisted it to their deaths and tried to protect the company with everything they had. If they took a gamble, they might have been able to overcome this challenge since the company's foundation was well built before Yi Wanwan left and they had amicable relations with people in the entertainment industry. They watched as the company slowly improved until the power behind Emperor Sky Entertainment interfered. The Hongshin Gang was the biggest mafia gang with the longest history in Harbor City with branches all over Asia. They had an unfathomable background. They only started stepping into the entertainment industry in recent years and used the industry to launder their money in large quantities. Chapter 1735 Emperor Sky Entertainment somehow hooked onto this connection, using the mafia's status in the entertainment industry, along with the Hongshin Gang's power to force the sale of the Age of Immortals at a remarkably cheap price. Their methods were extremely nauseating. They bribed Yao Jiawen and used trust for Yao Jiawen to abduct Jiang Yanran and force Han Xinyu, who was managing the company in trust at that time, to sign an immensely unequal contract. If Yi Wanwan knew the truth, he couldn't imagine what she'd do, considering her personality. It would be too dangerous for Yi Wanwan to rashly involve herself in this tricky situation. Those people had no concept of morals and ethics, and completely disregarded the law. Yi Wanwan's circumstances were precarious enough already. Her father and brother were imprisoned still, and she was being targeted by the Yi family. They absolutely couldn't allow her to endanger herself further due to the company. No matter how fearsome she was still a normal girl whose family was struck by disaster. Han Xinyu, Luo Chen, and Jiang Yinran agreed on this point without any hesitation. Gong Su, who was too excited at the sight of Yi Wanwan, also swiftly understood. His rage dissipated as he blinked and looked at Luo Chen, Jiang Yinran, and then Han Xinyu. They stopped him from informing Brother Yi because they didn't want her to risk herself. Gong Su pursed his lips and suddenly realized he was too impulsive earlier. Gong Su's best actor skills were awoken instantly, and he cooperated with Golden Orchid Awards Best Actor Luo Chun, Golden Orchid Awards Best Actress Jiang Yanran, and International Best Actor Han Xinyu. He arrogantly exclaimed, "Damn, who am I? Who dare to make things difficult for us? I'm the #1 popular artist in the entertainment industry right now. They're more likely to elevate me to an altar and burn incense for me every day." Han Xinyu glanced at Gong Su, surprised at how cooperative he was. However, Han Xinyu didn't only have good acting skills. He also knew Yi Wanwan well and thought further. He knew she wouldn't believe it if they sounded too fake. Hence, he mixed some truth into the story. "Wanwan, I won't lie to you. Yao Jiawen is now under Yi's control. People want to ascend higher, and people with different goals go their separate ways. We can't fault her for that. Thankfully, in consideration of our previous friendship, she treats us veterans passably, so we're all doing relatively fine." Gong Su's intelligence also went online and matched Han Xinyu's story. "That woman is too terrible. She actually splashed dirty water onto you to advance herself. But don't worry, Brother Yi. We personally went to battle and dispersed the rumors and supported you fully. Plus, they don't have proof, so it won't impact you too much. The fans still believe in you." "That's right, Wanwan. Focus on handling Uncle Yi and your brother's matter. Don't worry about us," Jiang Yanran comforted her. The four of them cooperated with each other flawlessly like a well-oiled machine, and Fei Yong, Xiao Qing, and Dong Zai all stayed silent. An imperceptible glint flickered through Yi Wanwan's eyes as she listened to them. She laughed and said, "Then I'm reassured. I'm glad you're fine. In truth, I'm the one who should apologize since it was my family's mess that dragged the company down. Since the company has been acquired, focus on advancing your careers and try your best to erase your ties with my family." Chapter 1736. Before Yi Wanwan finished speaking, Han Xinyu gently interrupted. "Yi Bai, you're being too much of a stranger in saying this kind of thing. I don't want to discuss words of gratitude considering our relationship, but I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you, and Age of Immortals wouldn't exist. We'll stand together with you through thick and thin. This won't change no matter what." Luo Chun immediately nodded, displaying the same expression as Han Xinyu. Jiang Yanran hugged Yi Wanwan. "Wanwan, you aren't allowed to say anything related to dragging us down again, or else I'll get angry. We've been in contact with lawyers regarding your brother and Uncle Ye's situation and are brainstorming a solution, so don't worry too much." Warmth flowed through Yi Wanwan's heart as she looked at her companions. "Thank you." Because Han Xinyu and the others still had jobs and assignments, Yi Wanwan didn't linger and left after chatting a little longer. As soon as Yi Wanwan left, Gong Su plopped down on the carpet. "Damn, we managed to keep her in the dark." Then he swiftly jumped up and pulled up his shirt, pointing at his waist. "Damn, blockhead, don't you know to use a gentler method to remind me? You've bruised my precious waist." Luo Chan didn't say anything and merely looked at him with his typical, "Are you an idiot?" look, disinclined to talk to him at all. Gong Su knew he nearly exposed them and was in the wrong, but still gloatingly said, "How about it? This young master's adaptive abilities and acting skills are decent, right?" Luo Chun expressionlessly replied, "Too exaggerated." Gong Su shot him a glare instantly. "Bullshit. It was clearly perfection. This young master has a best actor." Jiang Yanran turned to Han Xinyu with concern and asked, "We probably fooled her, right?" Han Xinyu also wasn't certain and wryly chuckled. "Probably." Fei Yang, who watched the best actors and best actress flinging their acting skills around, asked, "What are you all worried about? There are 3 best actors and 1 best actress here. How could Yi Bai possibly have seen through you? Moreover, she's preoccupied with her brother and father's issues right now, so she probably can't keep up on our end." Jiang Yanran sighed with relief. "I hope so." Luo Chang glanced at Gong Su and hesitantly warned, "Be careful tomorrow." Gong Su raised his eyebrows in surprise, not expecting Luo Chan to show concern for him. He instantly tilted his head and said, "Who am I? There's no one who can make this young master suffer a loss. You should worry about yourself instead." Inside the car, after Yi Wanwan led Big Dipper and Seven Star out of Han Xinyu's mansion and entered the car, the faint and warm smile disappeared from her face without a trace. Ah. Yi Wanwan chuckled softly a moment later, her eyes cast down. Big Dipper scratched his head in incomprehension. "Why are you laughing, Sis Phone?" Yi Wanwan softly laughed, her expression exasperated. "I'm pleased. The best actors and best actress that I personally taught, their acting skills are quite decent." "Huh? What do you mean?" Big Dipper was baffled. Seven Star, on the other hand, glanced at her pensively. Yi Wanwan didn't respond, her smile receding as she said, "Big Dipper, continue to track the Yi family. Seven Star, immediately help me uncover everything that happened these past few months between the Age of Immortals and Emperor Sky Entertainment, including every detail and process of Emperor Sky Entertainment's acquisition of the company half a month ago." Seven Star nodded. "Okay." Chapter 1737, The Independent State. A certain simple European-style manor was under tight security. If someone knew who was meeting inside this manor today, they would be ashen from terror. It was the organization prison, which had reseeded after many years of seclusion. Its core members, the three leaders of Azura, Heavenly Hatred, and Slaughter's Gate, were meeting for the first time since they disbanded many years ago. Jiang Yin and Lin Ke silently stood guard outside the door. As the sky dimmed and dusk settled upon them, Jiang Yan's phone suddenly started ringing. Jiang Yin slowly walked to the side to accept the call. "What did you say?" The person on the other end said something, causing Jiang Yan's expression to darken with a swish. "Keep watching carefully." After placing that order, Jiang Yin hung up. Lin Ke, who had kept himself disguised ever since he learned Yi Wanwan came to the Independent State, glanced at Jiang Yin. "What is it? Why do you look like you ate shit?" Jiang Yin furiously responded. "By phone left the Independent State." Lin Ke raised his eyebrows. "Eh? Yi Wanwan left the Independent State? Wasn't that girl recently racking her brain to uncover Si Yihin's little alias? Why did she suddenly leave the Independent State? Where did she go?" Lin Ke asked reflexively. Jiang Yin angrily answered, "China. She accepted that trashy mission regarding the elimination of defected mercenaries. It will take at least a month or two to complete it, but it might take 3 to 5 months. That mission is nowhere as simple as she imagined, and she might even lose her life. The ignorant are seriously fearless." "Huh, don't you rather dislike her? What? Wouldn't it be good if she lost her life?" Lin Ke asked with a snicker. "I don't care if she lives or dies, but my lord is poisoned by the love goo and will definitely die in 3 months without an antidote. The antidote hasn't been discovered yet, so if she dies before that, my lord," Lin Ke nodded in understanding. "So you want her to sleep with him once to cure the poison?" Jiang Yan's expression stiffened, and a suspicious flush crawled up his neck. "You're dreaming." Lin Ke clicked his tongue while shaking his head. Look at how Jiang Yin treated Yi Wanwan like a ferocious beast and was afraid she'd tarnish his lord. If he discovered she'd corrupted and slept with his lord already, Lin Ke wondered how he'd react. However, that girl actually returned to China? Did that mean? Lin Ke's eyes glinted, but his contemplation was disrupted by the door finally opening. A slender male figure wearing a vintage Victorian-style suit as black as the night slowly walked out, his stunning face covered in frost. "My lord!" Jiang Yin and Lin Ke immediately went up to receive him. Jiang Yin appeared as if he wanted to say something as he looked at his lord. Lin Ke didn't have any scruples, though, and frankly said with a smile, "Good timing. I have good news for you." "Good news?" Lord Azura glanced at Lin Ke aloofly. Lin Ke grinned. That girl accepted Scarlet Flame's Academy's A-rank mission to capture defected mercenaries and ran back to China. The man's pupils contracted, and he spoke without thinking a second later. "Arrange a trip to China." Jiang Yan's eyes shot open in disbelief when he heard that. "What? My lord actually wants to go to China the second he hears that woman's in China. What does this mean? Is my lord truly going to surrender and use that degrading method to cure the goo poison? Chapter 1738. Jiang Yin nearly wanted to commit suicide from intense self-reproach. If he protected his lord better, that vixen wouldn't have been able to exploit his weakness. Lin Ke looked like he expected it, though. Okay, understood. I'll arrange it immediately. Si Yihin was at his wit's end due to that girl pressing closer and closer and almost couldn't conceal his identity anymore. But that girl just happened to return to China at this time. He merely needed to arrange for someone to pretend to be Lord Azura in the independent state and return to China to recover his identity as Si Yihin, and he could dispel her suspicions. The next morning, Seven Star delved into everything that happened at the Age of Immortals after Yi Wanwan left that very night before giving the report to Yi Wanwan. Sis Feng, I've finished looking into the matter concerning the acquisition. It's not that simple. Although the Age of Immortal situation wasn't optimistic, it wasn't at the point of needing to sell the company. Even when Emperor Sky gave a fairly high purchase price and exerted both gentle and forceful methods, Han Xianyu and the others didn't acquiesce. Yi Wanwan kept tapping the glass surface of the side table with her finger. Continue. In truth, Han Xianyu, Luo Chun, Gong Su, and Jiang Yinran's acting skills were superb, and Yi Wanwan didn't catch anything amiss due to flaws in their acting skills. It was because of trust. She trusted that they wouldn't sell the company and trusted that they would have the capability. However, the result didn't match her expectations at all, so something else had to have gone wrong. Hence, she ordered Seven Star to investigate the matter. Seven Star continued, according to my investigation, your cousin and second aunt had secret intimate contact with people from the Hongxin gang these past few months. After you left, Yao Jiawen acted as the manager of Jiang Yinran, Gong Su, and Luo Chun, and was rather trusted. Hence, they bribed Yao Jiawen and made her cooperate with people from the Hongxin gang from the inside to avoid the bodyguards and kidnap Jiang Yinran. Then they threatened the others using Jiang Yinran, and they had no choice but to comply with Emperor Sky's acquisition. Yi Wanwan's expression darkened instantly. Never would she have expected that she would still underestimate the shamelessness of Huang Mingquan and the mother-daughter duo in the end. She didn't expect them to use such a vulgar method. What chilled her heart more was Yao Jiawen's betrayal. Yao Jiawen was someone she unearthed and taught hand over hand. She passed her knowledge to Yao Jiawen without holding back and even entrusted her with her most important artists before leaving. To her surprise, Big Dipper sprang up with righteous indignation. Damn, Hongxin gang what? I've never heard of them. They dare to kidnap my goddess. Fuck their ass. They're an organization that originated from Harbor City and currently has influence in China and the Asia region, Seven Star expressionlessly explained. Yi Wanwan had naturally heard of the Hongxin gang before. They were rather powerful indeed and had a deep background. However, if an underground syndicate like Hongxin gang was thrown into the independent state, they would basically be no different from children playing house. Let's not even compare them to the Fearless Alliance, which struck terror into everyone in the independent state. Give me the upcoming schedules of those four, Yi Wanwan requested. Seven Star conducted his assignment to satisfaction and looked into that already, so he quickly sent a document to Yi Wanwan's phone. Yi Wanwan skimmed through the schedules before focusing on Gong Su's schedule that day. The name of the film that Gong Su was going to shoot today looked familiar. It seemed to be the film claimed to use explicit scenes to catch viewers' attention. Chapter 1739 currently. The set of the film A Carnal Night had a tense atmosphere, and the scent of gunpowder permeated the air. Next to Gong Su were a tipped chair and the shattered pieces of a cup he knocked over. Yao Jiawen, this isn't what you said when you coaxed me into signing the contract for this film. I can tolerate you using those crude methods for publicity, but now you actually want me to strip and shoot that kind of thing? Just to support a nobody? Who do you think I am? The female lead of this film was the lover of some leader in Hongxin gang and a minor, unpopular artist. She was currently signed to the Age of Immortals and personally managed by Yao Jiawen. If this was before, Gong Su wouldn't mind acting in this kind of film. But now, Brother Yi exerted so much effort just to lift him into this position and help him change a genre. So how could he tolerate this kind of vulgar and low-quality film and ruin their efforts? Yao Jiawen was sitting in a leather chair with a cup of coffee in hand, unconcerned about Gong Su's rage. You're too naive, Gong Su. Which high-earning person in the industry doesn't do this? You wasted so much time and energy shooting a film without a market. So what if you used it to win Best Actor? The profit that it brought is far inferior to you stripping your clothes and revealing some skin. Yi Bai's self-righteous method of blindly pursuing expertise and acting skills doesn't suit this industry at all, and she should have been eliminated ages ago. It had only been a few mere months, but all traces of Yao Jiawen's original simple and frugal appearance had disappeared from her body. Her outfit could hold a candle to the outfits of some artists and celebrities. There was a luxurious bracelet around her wrist and a Chanel couture outfit enveloping her body. There was also a personal assistant waiting on her tail, and she completely resembled a golden manager, confidence leaking through her every word. The director and producers next to her all bobbed their heads zealously and fell over themselves to lick her boots. CEO Yao is brilliant. CEO Yao's words are incredibly insightful. Ah, Gong Su, didn't we all enter this industry to earn money? Why must you jeopardize your earnings? CEO Yao is doing this for your own good. Immense satisfaction filled Yao Jiawen as she listened to these renowned producers and director, who she wasn't even qualified to look at before, all eagerly parroting her. She might have felt a little guilty allying with Yi before, but after being a golden manager and the company's CEO for several months, the tinge of guilt had been stomped to nothing underneath her feet. Both she and Yi Bai were managers, so why should Yi Bai thrive while she could only act as a lackey? In this industry, you had to be unscrupulous to rise above everyone else anyway. She couldn't be faulted. She absolutely didn't want to return to her original groveling and currying life. Now, even the arrogant and bossy Gong Su was a puppet to her wishes. Gong Su stared at the woman before him and sneered. Yao Jiawen, stop freaking dirtying this young master's ears. Who the heck do you think you are? Do you really think you're my manager? Who gave you the nerve to think you're worthy of being mentioned in the same breath as my brother Yi? When Yao Jiawen heard that, her calm and graceful mask instantly shattered, a storm rolling into her eyes. After gaining control of the company, her biggest taboo was being compared to Yi Bai. What she loathed the most was these people mentioning Yi Bai at every twist and turn, when clearly the age of immortals belonged to her now, and she was their manager now. Chapter 1740. Yao Jiawen snorted with ridicule. Ah, Best Actor Gong seriously keeps Director Yi in mind constantly. May I ask where your precious Director Yi went when the company was backed into a wall? Where was she when the company was acquired? You're right. I don't need to be mentioned in the same breath as her, because she's nothing but a stray dog. Why does she have to be compared to me? If she returned to the company now, she wouldn't even be worthy of holding my shoes for me. Gong Su felt a ball of rage and frost engulfing his eyes, and he stressed every word carefully. Yao Jiawen, I dare you to say that again. Did your fucking conscience get eaten by a dog? If it weren't for Brother Yi back then, you would have already packed up your bags and returned to the fields to be a farmer. Now, you're actually paying a favor back with revenge? You can't even measure up to a fucking dog. Yao Jiawen's eyes darkened. I'm paying back a favor with revenge? Back then, Yuan merely gave me an assistant position like she was dismissing a beggar. Everything I possess today, I work for myself. I have a clear conscience. You, however, wake up. Do you think the Age of Immortals is a place you can throw a tantrum however you want? You have to shoot today's scene whether you want to or not. Yao Jiawen then shot a look at the side. Several burly men emitting a conspicuous savage aura promptly entered the hall. Yao Jiawen snorted. Would you rather start shooting obediently or have someone lend you a helping hand? It's your choice, but I'm advising you to obey me nicely. Don't do things the hard way. Gong Su's entire body was drowning in a violent fury, and he shoved the video camera over. Scram. Shoot it yourself if you want to. Yao Jiawen nonchalantly said. You won't shoot it? Sure. If you won't, I can find someone else. How about I add a scene for Jiang Yanran? After all, the effects of a female artist shooting this are much better than a male artist. Yao Jiawen. Fuck your grandfather. Gong Su charged up to punch her, but was pulled back by Dong Zai. He could disregard his own well-being and shatter the fish tank, but these people had no bottom line and were willing to do anything. He previously heard that a celebrity accidentally verbally offended a boss from Hongxing Gang, and their corpse was discovered by the riverside in the suburbs the next day. And last time Jiang Yanran was kidnapped, she would have nearly gotten bullied if they hadn't arrived in time. Yao Zhouan naturally detected Gong Su's apprehension and ordered with a smile. All right then, let's stop wasting time. Begin. Gong Su's eyes were like that of an enraged bull as he icily glared at Yao Zhouan. He lay his fingers over the collar of his dress shirt before ripping it, sending buttons flying everywhere. He forcefully yanked off his shirt onto the floor. The director excitedly ordered the lights and camera crew to make preparations, and they started shooting. Continue. Strip everything and lie down in the bathtub. Then Jingjing will sit on top of Gong Su, the director instructed. Gong Su's face froze as he stared at the eager nobody, his expression black as tar. When he met Yao Jiawen's threatening gaze, he took a deep breath and continued to strip. Just as Gong Su placed his fingers over his icy belt buckle and loosened it, a loud bang rang. The large iron doors of the set suddenly collapsed from a kick. Everyone jumped in fright and turned to look at the entrance. There was a tall and slender figure standing in the doorway, light radiating from behind them with their legs still in a kicking position. When the person saw everyone looking over, they slapped off the non-existent dust from their shoulders and retracted their leg. Who are you? What are you doing? The director shouted furiously. Since the girl was standing with the light behind her, her face was hazy. All that was heard was an icy but languid and clear voice reverberating in the set. Apologies for disturbing everyone. I am Gong Su's manager. Chapter 1741. What? Gong Su's manager? Everyone was taken aback by the newcomer's words. Isn't Yao Jiawen Gong Su's manager? Yao Jiawen was sitting right there. So where did this person claiming to be Gong Su's manager pop up from? Next to Yao Jiawen, her assistant furiously yelled. Nonsense. Our CEO Yao is sitting right here. Who the heck are you? How dare you impersonate CEO Yao? You must be here to make trouble. That's right. Who are you? Why are you trespassing on a set? Where's security? What the heck are they doing? In the midst of everyone's furious outrage, Yu Wanwan walked inside without regard for anyone, 7-star and Big Dipper trailing behind her. Lights were blasting on the set, so everyone finally saw the newcomer's face clearly when she left the shadows. The boisterous set quieted like a mute button was abruptly pressed. Sound was stolen from everyone as they stared at the girl who entered with astonishment and disbelief all over their faces. Dijar, Director Yi Bai. Damn, why is she back? Although the entertainment industry experienced extremely rapid change, there wasn't anyone present who didn't recognize this girl. This was a mere brand new manager who succeeded in making Luo Chen popular as soon as she debuted, who then signed on Gong Su, and was the mastermind behind clearing up Han Xinyu scandal. She managed to revive dazzling media single-handedly, create the Age of Immortals after leaving Dazzling, and produce 2 Best Actors and 1 Best Actress in last year's Golden Orchid Awards within a year of the company's establishment. As her name and reputation swept throughout the industry, news of the second miss of the Yi family cross-dressing as a man was exposed. Her brilliant resume couldn't be replicated by anyone. She was a legend in the entertainment industry. After she disappeared for many months, everyone nearly forgot about her existence and thought she wouldn't return to the country anymore. To everyone's surprise, she suddenly showed up here in front of them. How is that possible? Yao Jiawen's gloating expression vanished without a trace, and the color drained from her face. She shot up, shoving her chair back in the process. Yi Bai. Yuan, that woman is actually back. Heavens! Is that Yi Bai? Is that Yi Bai? It is. I've seen her in female clothes. She's still so handsome in female clothes. Ah, damn. I might become crooked. Brother. Brother-y. Gong Su stood in his spot in a daze, unable to believe what he was seeing. He knew Yuan was overwrought with anxiety from her father and brother situation, and they managed to deceive her yesterday, so he never would have expected Yuan to suddenly show up. The sentence, "I'm Gong Su's manager," caused an ache to grip his heart. Yuan glanced at 7-Star, extending her hand out toward him. 7-Star understood immediately and unzipped his jacket, swiftly taking it off to hand to her. Then Yuan tossed his jacket toward Gong Su. Gong Su's eyes reddened the second he caught the black jacket. Brother Yi, I knew you'd come and pick me up while riding a trail of rainbow-colored auspicious clouds one day. Yuan's lips twitched. What the heck was up with riding a trail of rainbow-colored auspicious clouds? Gong Su wanted to pounce enthusiastically toward Yuan as usual, but was blocked by 7-Star again. Dress yourself, Yuan ordered. Gong Su sniffed and was immensely moved as he stared at the jacket in his hands. I don't like this color. I like his more. Chapter 1742. Gong Su intently stared at the gaudy jacket embedded with sequins on Big Dipper. Yuan, ha. You have good taste, bro. I also think mine's good looking. Come here, I'll give you mine to wear. Big Dipper looked like he'd found a best friend and generously took off his jacket for Gong Su to wear. Yuan, Brother Yi, why did you come? Gong Su put on the jacket with great satisfaction before asking with furrowed brows. Yuan glanced at him from the corner of her eyes. If I didn't come, how long were you all going to deceive me? Gong Su glanced at Yao Jiawen and her lackeys. Brother Yi, it's not that we wanted to deceive you, but anyway, it's no big deal, so you don't need to worry about it. Really? Gong Su's heart jumped to his throat when he saw that Yuan only brought 2 people there. At this point, Yao Jiawen finally managed to calm herself down a bit and nonchalantly walked toward Yuan. She derisively greeted Yuan. Ha! Long time no see, Director Yi. So what if Yuan's back? Does she think she's still that sought-after golden manager from before? In an ever-changing place like the entertainment industry, a mere 3 months was enough for a dynasty to be usurped by another dynasty. Now, it wasn't Yi Bai's dynasty anymore. Yuan's expression didn't shift as she looked at this woman who resembled a complete stranger to her. It's truly been a long time. It feels like the blink of an eye, but I almost couldn't recognize you, CEO Yao. Director Yi, people are prone to change. Dark clouds shrouded Yao Jiawen's heart when she saw how this woman retained her calm, confident, and formidable persona. Why? Why does this woman look so arrogant despite sinking so low? She seriously knows how to put on airs. May I ask the reason behind Director Yi's sudden visit? Yao Jiawen impatiently asked as she sat back down in her leather chair and took a sip from her coffee. The second her bottom made contact with the chair, she was abruptly picked up by Big Dipper and thrown onto the floor. Big Dipper menacingly glared at Yao Jiawen like he was a bandit and arrogantly said, Damn, who gave you the guts to sit down while my brother Yi is talking to you? Do you want to die? Big Dipper had smoothly adapted to how Gong Su and the others addressed Yuan as Brother Yi. However, when the words Brother Yi came from Big Dipper's mouth, it sounded like he was referring to a gang leader with his innate mobster aura. Yao Jiawen rolled in a circle after hitting the ground, her expensive clothes decorated with a layer of dust. She was in absolute disbelief. Are you mad? The staff members on the set finally returned to their wits after being stunned for a few seconds, and they hastily scrambled to help her up. Gong Su was also dumbstruck. He didn't expect Big Dipper to look like a pretty boy who relied on his face to make a living in the entertainment industry, while acting in a manner completely unfitting of his appearance. He resembled a robber and bandit. Big Dipper ignored those people, though, and eagerly dashed over to straighten the leather chair. "Have a seat, Brother Yi." Seven Star calmly brewed a new cup of coffee for Yi Wanwan. And so, Yi Wanwan casually sat down under everyone's flabbergasted gazes. Simply unbelievable. Damn, this Yi Bai. Did a screw go loose in her head from the shock of the mishap in her family? Right. Isn't she acting too arrogant? I bet she's gone mad. Does she want to die? It's Emperor Sky Entertainment standing behind Yao Jiawen. Who doesn't know that Emperor Sky Entertainment is supported by... Chapter 1743. Next to Yao Jiawen, the female assistant Yi assigned to her imperiously admonished Yi Wanwan. "Yi Bai, what in the world are you doing? Wake up and look at your current status. Your brother isn't the CEO of the Age of Immortals anymore, and you also aren't a director at this company anymore. You don't have any right to question our artist's business." The producer also chimed in. "Do you think you're still the director of the talent recruitment department at the Age of Immortals? Isn't it too ridiculous how you're sticking your nose into something that's none of your business?" The director quickly added, "Miss Yi, I understand you're unable to accept this outcome, but I'm advising you to accept reality. If you continue to be a pest and throw tantrums, I won't be so polite anymore." When Gong Su witnessed everyone mocking Yi Wanwan, his eyes turned as red as an enraged bull. "All of you shut up." Although he wanted nothing more than to hit them, he couldn't. Brother Yi was there, so it was too risky. He couldn't cause her to fall into a dangerous situation. After shouting that, he leaned in close to Yi Wanwan's ear and lowered his volume. "Brother Yi, hurry and leave. I'm really fine." With the help of her assistant, Yao Jiawen got up and sneered. "Yi Bai, I'm sorry to inform you that it's me who's Gong Su's manager now. And you're nothing. You have no right to govern his affairs. No matter where you go, this principle holds true." Confidence brimmed from Yao Jiawen's face, and she looked fearless from the knowledge of her support system. Yi Wanwan remained seated in Yao Jiawen's leather recliner and drank the high-class coffee 7-star prepared for her. She raised her brows at the other woman, looking surprised. "Who said I came here to talk principles with you? I'm not interested in doing that." She didn't come there to talk principles with these people. Why would she? Was she crazy? Yao Jiawen looked at Yi Wanwan, then at the skinny, young youths who came there with her. Yao Jiawen derisively snorted. "Then what would you like, Director Yi?" A word from her, and she could toss them out. She didn't, though. She wanted everyone to witness her destroying the legend that was Yi Bai. Yi Wanwan glanced at Yao Jiawen and blew on the hot cup of coffee in her hands before chuckling softly. "I, of course, came here to wreck the set." "What?" Before Yao Jiawen and the others could react, Yi Wanwan waved her hand at 7-Star and Big Dipper. "Wreck it all." 7-Star and Big Dipper instantly shifted into gear. Big Dipper exploded with excitement and dashed to the front, sending the most expensive camera crashing down with a flying kick. The loud bang caused everyone to be flabbergasted. Yi Wanwan really went mad, right? She brought 2 pretty boys there and declared she would wreck the set. Yao Jiawen exclaimed in shock before a sneer spread across her face. "Yi Bai, I originally wanted to give you some face, since we were once close, but since you want to die, don't blame me." She then flicked her hand at the underlings Yi arranged for her and commanded, "What are you waiting for? Beat them without any mercy." The audience hastily retreated far away and sympathetically looked at Yi Bai and those 2 youths. Yi Bai should have remained hiding overseas after taking the money. Why did she run back here to court death? Gong Su panicked. "Brother Yi, hurry and tell them to come back. These aren't normal bodyguards. They're from the gang." Yi Wanwan nodded. "Oh, are gang members scary?" Chapter 1744. Gong Su was nearly angered to death by Yi Wanwan's nonchalant expression. "Brother Yi, you're too naive, so you don't know about affairs concerned with gangs. Let me tell you frankly, Yi sank her claws into the leaders of Hongxing Gang. You should know about Hongxing Gang, right? These people aren't your typical thugs and thieves. They're all criminals who live their lives on their blades and don't have any morals. As Gong Su spoke, a dozen or so hired thugs rushed forward and completely surrounded them. Yuan pulled Gong Su down to sit in a nearby chair. Stop panicking and sit down for a cup of tea. I know about Hongxing Gang. I heard they're quite frightening, but I'm also quite frightening. Gong Su was on the verge of a breakdown. Brother Yi, stop kidding around. It's not the time for that. Yuan pursed her lips. I'm not kidding around. I really am frightening. These two friends of mine also don't have any morals and are very vicious. The width of their shoulders is thinner than the other guy's thigh. How the heck are they vicious? What should I do? My brother Yi seems to have become a bit foolish after leaving for a few days. Promptly after Gong Su's inquiry, he saw a giant tattooed man 9 meters tall, with muscles bulging from his figure, swinging his fist, which was as big as a wok, towards 7 Star's expressionless and exquisitely handsome face. It's over. Gong Su shouted miserably and covered his eyes. As soon as Gong Su covered his eyes, he unsurprisingly heard an enormous boom. He carefully peeked between the slits of his fingers, and his hand and chin dropped down the next second. What is going on? What did I just see? In the standoff between 7 Star and the bulky man, 7 Star's skinny figure was rooted to his spot. He merely twisted his wrist to grab the bulky man's hand at an odd angle. A second later, the bulky man was flung back like a burlap bag. Am I seeing things? What has happened? In the midst of Gong Su's days, the peacock-like Big Dipper also acted. He kicked a second thug and twisted another bulky man's arm until it broke with a bone-chilling crack. The blood-curdling screeches from the thugs nearly pierced the ceiling. The bulky man rolled onto the ground while howling for his parents, his arm limply hanging behind him like freshly made noodles. As for the bulky man who was thrown by 7 Star, he crashed into a wall and was convulsing and spurting blood out simultaneously. Gong Su's chin nearly touched the floor, and he shivered. He looked at Big Dipper and 7 Star like they were ghosts, and subconsciously shrank back behind Yuan. Damn. In the following minutes, everyone blankly watched as the two handsome youths turned into the embodiment of demons and pummeled the dozen or so burly thugs until they were broken and bleeding. One youth was expressionless, while the other youth had a bone-chillingly excited and twisted smile on his face. But their every attack was extremely cruel and savage, sending everyone's hair on end. When one of the bulky thugs slammed into the wall from a kick, his head directly shattered from the immensity of the force. Barf Yao Joan, who acted imperious and haughty a second ago, started vomiting and turned into a pile of mud, the scent of urine emitting from her a second later. Yuan languidly drank her coffee. What do you think? Are they vicious? Gong Su, they're too vicious, all right. Chapter 1745. Gong Su's eyes were bulging from his face as he glanced at Yuan in disbelief. His lips twitched as though he wanted to say something, but didn't voice it. His gaze shifted, landing on Big Dipper once more. That peacock has a similar build as me. So how does he possess such explosive strength? He could probably kill an ox with a punch, right? This is simply too terrifying and too freaking vicious. Damn. Fuck me. I'm not dreaming, right? Gong Su intently watched the rampage set and the fallen bulky thugs who kept howling in agony. This was completely different from his expectations. Damn. Cowards like you want to play shady with me? Big Dipper hurled a thug away and swept his eyes across the set before shaking his head in disappointment. Blah. A bunch of shameless bitches. 7 Star expressionlessly returned to his spot next to Yuan, standing there like a guardian deity. Bro, you're really awesome. Gong Su walked to Big Dipper and gave him a thumbs up. Bro, you're too cool. Brother, you think your brother Big is cool just from this? This is nothing. You haven't seen your brother Big at his mightiest yet. Forget about these people. Have you heard of piece of shit? Piece of shit has to walk around your brother Big when he sees me. Did you think I was bragging? Big Dipper's face brimmed with pride. Piece of shit. Gongsu was dumbfounded. Who the heck was piece of shit? What? You haven't heard of piece of shit? Big Dipper shot him a look. Gongsu immediately straightened his back and hastily said, I have. I'm also well-versed in the world, bro. Of course I've heard of piece of shit. He's a very fearsome dog. I know, piece of shit is a pit bull, the #1 ferocious dog in the world, right, bro? I have one myself. Although Gongsu was clueless as to what Big Dipper was saying, he didn't want to humiliate himself, so he could only blow his way through it and make up a story. Big Dipper glanced at him, baffled. It's piece of shit from the independent state, don't you know? I do, of course I do. Why wouldn't I know? The independent state, right? It's an island that's rather independent and lives secluded from the world. It's a paradise, and the island is home to the most ferocious pit bull in the world. Big Dipper, 7-star, Yuan. Before Yuan could say anything, Big Dipper caught sight of the thug by his feet clutching broken pieces of glass and slowly standing up. Big Dipper ruthlessly kicked the thug's face and sent him flying back 3 to 4 meters away. Lie down properly. Did I say you could get up? Big Dipper glowered at the thug he sent flying. When the thug didn't respond, Big Dipper's temper exploded. Hey, you're quite brassy. How dare you ignore me? Gongsu quickly stopped Big Dipper and said, Bro, he fainted, so how can he respond? How about we let go? Big Dipper nodded. Fine, I'll do it for you. Then he turned to Yuan. Brother Yi, we're done wrecking things. Should we continue? The faces of Yao Jiawen and the other onlookers were deathly pale, and some of the set staff were hiding on the side, not daring to breathe loudly. The two youths brought here by Yi Bai were simply too terrifying. Chapter 1746. You can stop. Yuan answered aloofly. Then let's eat. I'm starving, Big Dipper said. What's the hurry? Are we done? Yuan retorted. Brother Yi, if we don't leave now, it won't be an easy escape when their backup comes. Gongsu said anxiously. Say, brother, what are you saying? So what if their backup comes? I can suffocate pieces of trash like this with a single finger. Who cares how many ants there are? It's not like they can threaten an elephant. Big Dipper sneered. Bro, you're right, but why are we staying here still? Gongsu was puzzled. To film. Don't you see how dedicated everyone is to their work? How could we leave so irresponsibly? Yuan answered with a soft chuckle. Gongsu's expression shifted, and he looked at her in surprise. Damn, Brother Yi, you aren't. Gongsu gnashed his teeth, as though he came to a great decision. Brother Yi, unless you shoot it with me, I won't shoot it. Yuan immediately rolled her eyes at him. Does this idiot have tofu for a brain? Who freaking said he's shooting it? Ignoring this idiot, Yuan walked toward a nearby table and gently rapped on the surface. She snorted and asked, Why are you hiding under here, Director? It's time to come out and work. Ah, Director Yi, it's a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. I don't know them. The director climbed out from under the table and looked at Yuan with an ingratiating smile. Director Yi, I'm a fan, your staunchest fan. These people threatened me to shoot this kind of film, which is a gigantic humiliation for me. Did you know, Director Yi, the thing I freaking hate the most in my life is shooting this type of scandalous and immoral film? Shut up. Yuan shot the director an impatient look. Yes. The director nodded. Where's the screenwriter? Yuan called from her spot on the chair. I'm the screenwriter, Director Yi. A young man said fawningly as he hastily walked toward Yuan. Let me see the screenplay, Yuan ordered. The screenwriter quickly handed the screenplay to her. Less than a minute later, Yuan finished skimming the script and chuckled. You're truly unprofessional and chose completely inappropriate male and female leads. So how could this film become popular upon release? Right. The director anxiously agreed. You're too right, Director Yi. I previously mentioned that the casting was too rash and doesn't have that essential impact and explosiveness. So, Director, who do you think would suit the female lead the best? Yuan asked the director with a smirk. The director frantically shook his head. That's hard to say, Director Yi. What do you think about Yao Jiawen? Yi Wanwan's gaze landed on the nearby Yao Jiawen. What did you say, Yi Bai? Yao Jiawen viciously glared at her. Great. That's great. Yao Jiawen, as the female lead, is perfect. The director gave Yi Wanwan a thumbs up. As for the male lead, Yi Wanwan turned to the howling thugs. Whoever doesn't want to die should step forward. One of the thugs in black moaning with everything he had instantly climbed up from the floor. I don't want to die. Chapter 1747. HM. You don't want to die? Big Dipper sent the man's bottom a kick. You think you won't die just cause you said you don't want to die? Are you trying to make me lose face? Yi Wanwan looked at the bulky man. It's easy to avoid death. I think that with your looks, it's rather appropriate for you to star as the male lead of this film. What do you think? I can. I have experience in this. I'll do exactly as you say, boss. The bulky man nodded frantically. He could shoot this type of film and avoid being put to death, plus the female lead was Yao Jiawen. She couldn't be described as pretty, but at least she wasn't ugly. No matter how you looked at it, he was the one benefiting from this. Can you censor my face afterward? The bulky man asked after a moment of thought. What do you think? Yi Wanwan smiled faintly. Oh, I think that's unnecessary. I'm willing to sacrifice my body for art. The bulky man replied. Why aren't you starting yet, director? Yi Wanwan turned to the director. Yi Wanwan, you're asking for death. Do you think you'll live after this? You dare to antagonize me and Emperor Sky Entertainment just because you have two pretty boys with a little talent in martial arts. You'll die very, very tragically. Your family, too. All of you will die. Yao Jiawen screamed hysterically. Stop spouting nonsense. Hurry and strip. Don't waste filming time. I'm telling you. The director impatiently snapped at her. If he offended Yao Jiawen, only his career in the industry would end. If he offended Yi Wanwan, though, his life would probably end today. Yi Wanwan had gone completely insane. Soon, with the help of a new, bulky male lead, Yao Jiawen was stripped to her skin along with the male lead himself, and they started posing in all sorts of extremely suggestive ways. Seven Star turned to Yi Wanwan and expressionlessly said, Brother Yi, you should close your eyes. Yi Wanwan was taken back and looked puzzled. Close my eyes? Why? Seven Star earnestly replied, although they're only shooting some photos and not genuinely doing anything, you're still a girl. After all, Brother Yi, it isn't good for you to watch this. Yi Wanwan, old Seven, what are you saying? What hasn't Brother Yi seen before? It's just some photos. This is nothing. Big Dipper was derisive. Right. Bro is right. What hasn't my Brother Yi seen before? This is nothing. Gong Su echoed. In the midst of Yao Jiawen's despair, they finally finished taking the photos. Yi Wanwan promptly walked toward Yao Jiawen and chuckled when she saw Yao Jiawen's loathful expression. What, CEO Yi? How does it feel to personally experience it yourself? Yi Bai, when this is over, just wait. I'll make you kneel by my feet. Yao Jiawen maliciously glared at Yi Wanwan. Oh. The corners of Yi Wanwan's mouth curled up into a shockingly bewitching smile. What a backbone CEO Yao has. I suddenly realized that I'd be letting you off too easy if I just had you shoot some photos. How about you shoot a genuine film with that male lead now? What do you think? Yao Jiawen's face transformed. Heh, Yao Jiawen, you're nothing but a stray dog I picked up back then. What? You haven't grown up yet, but you already have the guts to bite me. Your master? Yi Wanwan snorted as she lifted Yao Jiawen's chin up. Chapter 1748. Yi Wanwan had zero pity for an ingrate like her. If she didn't pick up Yao Jiawen, who was getting snubbed everywhere she went, where would Yao Jiawen be today? It would be all right if Yao Jiawen didn't feel any gratitude, but Yao Jiawen turned around and bit her. Yao Jiawen snatched away the age of a mortal's funds, but falsely accused her of being the culprit. It wouldn't be overboard, even if a person like Yao Jiawen was hacked into thousands of pieces. Just now, not only was Yao Jiawen devoid of remorse, but Yao Jiawen also used her family to threaten her. What a wonderful person. Now, Yi Wanwan was merely giving Yao Jiaowen a taste of her own medicine, which could already be considered merciful. You buy. Fine, you win. Yao Jiaowen forced out between gritted teeth. Don't be in such a rush, CEO Yao. The game's just begun. It would be boring if it ends too fast, no? Yi Wanwan smiled faintly at the other woman. Yi Wanwan ordered the director to save the photos and some recordings and send them to her. After that, Yi Wanwan led Gong Su, Big Dipper, and Seven Star out of the set without looking back. Inside the living room of the Golden Seas mansion, Big Dipper and Seven Star had their fill of dinner, and Liang Wanjun had returned to her bedroom to sleep. First Elder and Third Elder were sitting on the sofa and were watching a Chinese TV show, looking rather relaxed. Yao Jiaowen and the others probably wouldn't dare to publicize what Yi Wanwan did that day, since Yi Wanwan possessed information that could be used against them, the photos and videos. Even if Yao Jiaowen told Emperor Sky Entertainment and that supposed Hongxing gang, Yi Wanwan didn't care. There were nothing in her eyes. First Elder, Third Elder, Yi Wanwan called, breaking out of her contemplation. The two elders quickly walked toward her, as well as Big Dipper and Seven Star. How's the task I assigned to you a few days ago coming along? Any progress? Yi Wanwan asked. Yes. Big Dipper hastily answered. Sis phone, I stalked them with everything I had these past few days. In the end, guess what I discovered? What could you possibly have discovered? Third Elder glanced at Big Dipper. Third Elder, how could you? What about me? Why couldn't I discover anything? I think that my intelligence is the highest amongst all of us here. I don't care whether you admit it or not. I think it's true regardless. Big Dipper protested. Quiet. What did you discover? Yi Wanwan asked him. I discovered that Steward Huang, or something from the Yi family, really had an affair with that Liang Meixin woman. These two often go to a hotel to do some illicit things. That's it. Seven Star looked at Big Dipper. Yeah, isn't that enough? Big Dipper asked. It's not that it isn't enough, but First Elder, Third Elder, and I all knew about this already, Seven Star calmly answered. What about videos and photos? Yi Wanwan pressed. The four of them looked at each other blankly. President, the floor of the hotel room they booked is a bit too high, so it's hard to film them. Plus, we need to film them doing that kind of thing. Third Elder looked somewhat chagrined. So you're saying you all didn't film it? Yi Wanwan was dumbstruck. I filmed it. I filmed it. Big Dipper shouted abruptly. Chapter 1749, everyone in the room looked at Big Dipper. You filmed it. Yi Wanwan was surprised, and doubt surfaced in her eyes. If First Elder and Seven Star said they filmed it, Yi Wanwan wouldn't suspect it at all, but when these words came from Big Dipper's mouth, she inexplicably felt like something was amiss. Ah, sis phone, I really filmed it. That scene, Big Dipper clucked his tongue and shook his head before pulling his phone out of his pocket. I followed and filmed them the whole time with my phone. Let me play it for you. Big Dipper waved the phone in her hand. They all quickly congregated around Big Dipper and intently stared at his phone. Where's the video? Third Elder couldn't help asking after a while. My phone ran out of battery. Let me charge it a little, Big Dipper awkwardly replied. First Elder, Third Elder, Yi Wanwan, Seven Star. After a few minutes, Big Dipper's phone finally turned back on. When Big Dipper pulled up the video, First Elder and Third Elder were dumbstruck. At an unspecified hotel, the position of the camera was somewhere between the 20th and 30th floors. Some appalling sounds emanated from the hotel room. The figures of Huang Mingquan and Liang Meixian were entangled on the bed. Old 3. We really weren't able to tell when we typically followed her, but you gotta admit, that woman has a rather nice figure. It's alright. Third Elder intently watched the video. Yi Wanwan, these two old men. It had to be said that Big Dipper's video was shot clearly and the lighting was perfect. Unfortunately, there weren't any leads for Yi Mufan and Yi Shouting's case. However, Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan did reveal some information in this video. For example, Yi was their daughter. The length of the video wasn't long, and it finished playing a few minutes later. How about it? Decent, right? Big Dipper closed the screen and asked Yi Wanwan. Not bad. Yuan praised him with a smile. Sis Feng, should we upload this video onto the internet? Big Dipper asked after sending a copy to Yuan. Yuan mulled over it for a long while before shaking her head in the end. The goal of her return to China wasn't to expose Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan's affair or Yi Yi's true background. It was to restore Yi Mufan and Yi Shouting's innocence. If they uploaded this video onto the internet now, it would certainly create an enormous storm and affect Yi Yi to a certain degree, but it couldn't knock down Yi Yi, Huang Mingquan, and Liang Meixian. After all, Yi Yi currently possessed complete control of Emperor Sky Entertainment, and no one would give Yi Yi trouble over this. On the other hand, once they did this, they would alert the enemies, and Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan would become timid birds. At that time, it would be harder than ascending to the heavens to make an issue out of their affair, trick information out of them, and save Yi Mufan and Yi Shouting. Sis Feng, what was the point of me filming this video then? Big Dipper was baffled. Yuan said, keep it for now. It'll be useful later. Keep following and filming them. Chapter 1750. The next few days, First Elder and Third Elder made up one team, while Seven Star and Big Dipper made up a second team, and they monitored the Yi residence nearly 24/7. As long as Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan stepped out of the Yi residence, they would follow and take photos and record videos. Seven Star even snuck into the Yi residence and photographed and filmed some of their actions in the Yi residence. However, Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan behaved very properly inside the Yi residence and acted no different from any master-servant pair, so they couldn't find any dirt on them. As time elapsed and Yi Mufan and Yi Shouting's court date drew closer, they still didn't have any substantial evidence that could prove Yi Mufan and Yi Shouting's innocence. Yuan had informed First Elder, Third Elder, and the other two of this matter before coming to China, so they all knew about it and didn't delve into the matter. On one certain day, Third Elder sought out Yuan. President, we can't continue like this. Stalking and filming rely only on luck, and luck is too vague and uncontrollable, Third Elder said to her. Yuan nodded and looked at him. Then what do you think we should do, Third Elder? If you believe in me, President, leave this matter to me. I'll definitely provide the information and answer what you want, President, Third Elder replied. All right, I'll leave it to you then. With Yuan's permission, Third Elder's apprehension dispersed. That night, Third Elder summoned a group of elites from the Fearless Alliance and had Seven Star and Big Dipper perch outside the Yi residence. About 3 days later, Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan visited the hotel again. Third Elder, what should we do? A member turned to Third Elder. Third Elder chuckled, but didn't respond. Instead, he led everyone into the hotel. Third Elder stopped in front of the front desk. He looked at the receptionist and asked, which room did that couple go into just now? You are. The receptionist cautiously looked at Third Elder. No need for you to know, Third Elder impatiently retorted. My sincere apologies, but we can't provide our guests' information to you, including the guest's room number, the receptionist said. Third Elder, I saw those two old things go up to the 31st floor. I remember that there's only a presidential suite on the 31st floor. There aren't any other suites, Big Dipper interjected at this moment. After learning of their room number, Third Elder sneered and waved his hand. Let's go. The receptionist panicked and rushed out from behind the reception desk, blocking Third Elder and his group. You can't do this. Leave the hotel before taking care of any business you have, or else we're going to call the police. Third Elder glanced at the receptionist. Little miss, I won't cause trouble for you, so call the police as you said. Then Third Elder led his group into the elevator and directly went to the 31st floor. Third Elder stood outside the presidential suite and knocked on the door. Huang Mingquan, come out and open the door. After a series of knocks, Huang Mingquan's wary voice finally drifted from inside the room. Who is it? Chapter 1751, Your Creditor. Third elder released a dark chuckle. My creditor? Huang Mingquan sounded surprised. When did I have a creditor? Before Huang Mingquan could figure it out, third elder turned to an elite member and ordered, "Kick the door open." The elite member kicked obediently. A loud bang was heard a second later, and the door to the presidential suite was kicked open. Behind the door, Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan were scrambling to dress with panic on their faces. Film it. Film everything. Photos, videos, everything. Third elder commanded at once. All the Fearless Alliance members, including Seven Star and Big Dipper, swiftly took out their phones and started madly taking photos. You? Where the fuck are you from? What's your objective? Huang Mingquan harshly shouted at Third Elder. Third Elder didn't answer him at all and jeered instead. Damn. Truly damn. The Yi family's Steward Huang, and isn't this the Yi family's Madame Liang Meixian? Shit. A big scoop. Big Dipper hastily dashed forward and pointed at them. Liang Wanjuan's expression wavered between red and white. Who in the world were they, and why had they stalked them? To blackmail them, or you're asking for death? Huang Mingquan harshly glared at Third Elder. Asking for death. Third Elder darkly chuckled. Huang Mingquan, you, as steward of the Yi family, actually has this kind of illicit affair with Liang Meixian. I wonder who's asking for death. These are entertainment reporters, so you can wait for your death. Entertainment reporters? Huang Mingquan and Liang Meixian's expressions simultaneously changed when they heard that. If these people really were entertainment reporters and their affair was exposed, the consequences would be inconceivable. This would have an enormous impact on not only them, but also Emperor Sky Entertainment and Yi. Who the heck are you? Huang Mingquan stared at Third Elder. He could swear to the heavens that he absolutely didn't know this elderly man and had never seen him before. Who am I? Third Elder snorted. Huang Mingquan, don't you remember the extent of money you lost when you gambled at our casino previously and how you haven't paid it off yet? Not only that, but you borrowed a large sum from our company, then decided to go missing on us? Repaying debts owed is a principle of this world. What, don't you know this? Third Elder had been following Huang Mingquan lately, and knew Huang Mingquan had a fond love of gambling and often went to gamble almost every other day. Additionally, he owed quite a bit of money to one of the casinos. Huang Mingquan looked at Third Elder. He did owe a few casinos money, but which casino would be so tactless and dare to make trouble for him? What? There's nothing we could do about the fact that you owe us money, so we had no choice but to lead these reporters here to expose you. TSK, I didn't expect you to take such a gamble and get yourself mixed up with Madame Liang. Third Elder mocked. Take more photos. This is a giant scoop, and it's an exclusive. Emperor Sky Entertainment and the Yi family is going to be the talk of the country. Big Dipper exclaimed. Whose reporter are you? Do you all want to die? Liang Meixian maliciously questioned while pointing at Big Dipper. Chapter 1752, You're threatening me? As a reporter, my job is to publish facts. What? Should I be scared of you? What did you possibly do to me? Big Dipper said derisively and pointedly snapped a few more photos of Liang Meixian with his phone after saying that. Huang Mingquan, will you pay us the money you owe us? Don't say I didn't give you a chance. Third Elder looked at him intently. Before Huang Mingquan could say anything, the elevator door opened and 4 to 5 hotel staff members walked out. The hotel staff swiftly rushed over and shouted at Third Elder and his group. Who in the world are you? We've already called the police. Called the police? Third Elder snorted. I'm glad you called the police. I'd like to see who will end up worse off. Call the police? Call what police? Who told you to call the police? Huang Mingquan broke out into curses while pointing at the hotel staff. If the police really came, there really wouldn't be any leeway left. These people's charges wouldn't be enough to warrant a detainment, But this affair involving him and Liang Meixian would definitely be divulged, and photos and videos would be. Sweat drenched Huang Mingquan's body. They absolutely couldn't call the police. Mr. Huang, Madame Liang, this... The hotel staff looked at Huang Mingquan and Liang Meixian with incomprehension. This is unrelated to you. Scram, Huang Mingquan ordered while impatiently waving his hand. All right then. We probably didn't obtain a clear understanding of the situation. Our sincerest apologies for disturbing everyone. The hotel staff could only leave. After they left, third elder looked at Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan and mockingly said, Steward Huang, Madame Liang, this way, please. We'll go see our boss and discuss whether Steward Huang will pay back the money or have these reporter friends expose your affair. Huang Mingquan gnashed his teeth. Get out first and let us finish dressing. Third elder nodded. Sure, we'll wait until you're dressed. Remember not to play any tricks. Third elder then led everyone out of the room. A moment later, Huang Mingquan and Liang Meixian walked out of the presidential suite, neatly dressed. Steward Huang, Madame Liang, let's go. Third elder chuckled darkly. Which casino are you from? How much money do I owe you? I'll transfer the amount directly to your boss, so I won't be coming with you. Huang Mingquan retorted coldly. As he was the steward of the Yi family, Huang Mingquan naturally wasn't an idiot. He didn't know these people's identities at all, so he couldn't believe them based on their mere word alone. Seven Star and Big Dipper met each other's eyes. This old thing wasn't too stupid. Wouldn't Third Elder's scheme be useless then? However, a second later, Third Elder held a dagger to Liang Meixian's neck and smiled. Steward Huang, Madame Liang, I'm just someone else's employee. It's difficult to say what might happen if you two wanted to make things hard on me, Seven Star. Big Dipper. All their doubts dissipated. Why you? Liang Meixian's face turned ashen, and she didn't dare to move a centimeter. What about me? Let's go. Third Elder smiled and pushed Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan into the elevator. After leaving the hotel, Big Dipper and Seven Star entered their rented vehicle like chicks. Chapter 1753. Third Elder led Big Dipper and Seven Star into the same vehicle, while the remaining elite members were separated into several cars and followed behind them. Just who are you? A foreboding feeling enveloped Huang Mingquan as he asked Big Dipper and a Seven Star. Didn't we tell you who we are? Entertainment reporters. Big Dipper countered with a chuckle. Impossible. Huang Mingquan shook his head. You absolutely can't be reporters. Oh, how are you so certain we aren't reporters? Big Dipper was curious. His acting was clearly fine, so how could this old thing see through it? I've never seen reporters shooting photos with their phones. Huang Mingquan snapped. A realization dawned on Big Dipper. All of them held phones the whole time after entering the room. They had acted a bit unprofessional. Darn, not bad, old thing. You're kind of clever. Big Dipper praised with a snicker. Liang Meixian's face turned ashen. What were these people's intentions? Did they want to extort money? It wouldn't be too troublesome if they just wanted money. Just what do you want? Where are you taking us? Do you want money or something else? Liang Meixian asked them. Big Dipper looked at her with irritation. Stop asking questions. You'll find out when we get there. Soon, the car stopped in front of a remote cabin. Seven Star and Big Dipper each grabbed a person and threw the pair into the house. Soon, elites from the Fearless Alliance also arrived. Inside the dim room, Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan's limbs were all tied. I invited you two here today merely to ask something. Third Elder sat down on a sofa and looked at the tied-up pair with a smile. What do you want? If you want money, name a price. Huang Mingquan shouted fiercely. Money. The corners of Third Elder's lips curled into an icy smile. To be honest, Brother Huang, I really don't lack money. I already told you that the reason I invited you two here today is simple. I simply want some useful information from your mouths. Huang Mingquan and Liang Meixian met each other's eyes. An ominous feeling continued to creep into their hearts for some reason. These people looked very foreign to them, so they definitely hadn't seen these people before, but these people went through such great efforts to abduct them here. Just what information did they want? I'm telling you, we have a good relationship with higher-ups in Hongxing Gang. You must have heard of Hongxing Gang, right? I think we must have some misunderstandings between us. Tell us any demands you have. If this matter scales too much, it won't go well for not only us, but also you. Huang Mingquan turned to Third Elder and tried to negotiate in a friendly manner. We don't know the Hongxing Gang you're referring to, nor are we interested in knowing about them. Instead, we're rather interested in the death of Madame Liang's husband, Yi Shaoan, Third Elder said in good humor. The pair's expressions instantly changed. Chapter 1754. Back then, Yi Shaoan was killed because of Huang Mingquan and Liang Meixian, and they successfully framed Yi Mufan and Yi Shouting for his death. If someone else learned about this matter, the consequences would be too horrible to contemplate. Yi Shaoan was killed by Yi Shouting and Yi Shouting's son, Yi Mufan. Everyone knows this. What's there to question? Huang Mingquan replied calmly. I see. Third Elder nodded. Then there's not much to say. I'm not afraid to tell you that I didn't plan to release you alive after abducting you here today. If you tell me, you'll die. If you don't tell me, you'll still die. Big Dipper furrowed his brows. Third Elder was dumb, right? If they died, whether they told the truth or not, why should they say anything? If it were him, he wouldn't say it. The only difference is that if you tell me, you'll be executed by the law and might be able to cling onto your lives for 2 more years in prison. But if you don't tell me, Third Elder donned a malicious smirk as he looked at the pair. I'll show you what viciousness is. Who sent you here? Huang Mingquan stared at Third Elder intently. That's easy. You've probably guessed that. It's Yuanwan who sent us here. Yuanwan, Liang Meixian, and Huang Mingquan's expressions drastically changed. Didn't Yuanwan go missing? I won't lie to you, but Yuanwan has offered a large sum of money to obtain information from your mouths. If we can't get anything, there's no need for you to live, Third Elder said. Brother, how much money did Yuanwan give you? Tell me, and I'll give you double, no triple. Liang Meixian hastily interjected. I'll give you triple the price for you to release us. Then I'll pay you another sum for you to kill that damn bitch, Yuanwan. Big Dipper leaped up from the sofa instantly and marched toward Liang Meixian. Before she could react, Big Dipper ruthlessly backhanded her face twice. Blood dripped from her mouth, and surprise was apparent in her eyes as she looked at Big Dipper. Motherfucking dog shit. We're professionals and have professionalism. I'm telling you, hurry and tell us. Don't make it hard on us. Big Dipper ordered viciously. It's Yi Wanwan's family who killed Yi Shaoan. What's there to ask? The answer is the same no matter how you ask the question. Huang Mingquan shouted furiously. Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan knew very well that they couldn't reveal the truth of the matter no matter what, or else they die without a doubt. If these people were telling the truth, and they'd die whether they said anything or not, why would they say anything? Nice. Truly tough, nuts to crack. Unfortunately, there are heroes and good men with tougher backbones than you, but I can crack them no matter how hard the bone. Third Elder then turned to the elites nearby. You don't need me to tell you what to do, right? Yes. The Fearless Alliance elites immediately hung Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan from the beam that ran underneath the ceiling. Remember, you can't allow any wounds, internal or external, to appear on Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan's bodies. Otherwise, even if they confessed, they could refute it, claiming their confession was extorted under torture, and that would be a hassle. Chapter 1755, Third Elder reminded the Fearless Alliance elites. Don't worry, Third Elder. It's not our first time doing this kind of thing. We have plenty of experience, an elite replied with a joking tone. Big Dipper couldn't help but give Third Elder a thumbs up. Third Elder truly didn't rely on luck to make his way up to an elder position back then. His techniques and courageousness alone were superior to an average person's. For the next several days, Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan were tortured to an inch of their lives by the fearless Alliance elites, and their psychological defenses were on the verge of collapse. The elites didn't hit or curse them, and there wasn't a single wound on them, but the torment they suffered was indescribable. Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan hadn't slept for 3 whole days, and there wasn't a ray of light inside the darkroom, prohibiting them from knowing whether it was day or night. One of the fearless Alliance elites got a hold of some sleeping pills and grounded them in a powder before putting them inside bottles of mineral water and making them drink it. Huang Mingquan and Liang Meixian also had clips clamping their eyelids and couldn't close their eyes, so their eyes were completely bloodshot and they couldn't hold on. Third Elder smiled and entered the room, examining the suffering of Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan. How do you feel? You fucking bastard. Kill us if you have the guts. Huang Mingquan howled hysterically when he saw Third Elder, but this howl didn't have much strength behind it since he was extremely exhausted and could feel his heart starting to fail. Steward Huang, why are you so angry? Why would we kill you? We're also law-abiding citizens, so we wouldn't do such a thing. Since you two don't want to talk, let's continue. I believe you'll eventually be willing to talk, Third Elder said with a chuckle. No, I'm begging you. Let me sleep a little. Just a little. Just a little is fine. Liang Meixian pleaded with a sob. She really couldn't stand it anymore. She was extremely exhausted, but wasn't allowed to fall asleep. This type of torture was thousands of times more painful than physical torture. If you want to sleep, it's very simple. You just need to tell me how Yi Shaoan died, and I'll immediately allow you to have good sleep. How about it? Third Elder asked with a smile. Liang Meixian replied, Yi Shaoan was killed by Yi Wanwan's family. Well, I'm not too satisfied with this answer. What should I do? Third Elder looked at Liang Meixian before turning to glance at Big Dipper. Big Dipper, continue to feed them some sleeping pills. Third Elder walked out of the room. Huang Mingquan and Liang Meixian's face contorted with terror. No, I'll tell you everything. It was Huang Mingquan and I who had someone kill Yi Shaoan, then framed Yi Shouting and Yi Mufan for it. Liang Meixian cried. Third Elder paused in his steps and turned around with a smile. I'm rather satisfied by this answer, but you have to mention this as though you're having a casual conversation with Huang Mingquan. You can't say it to us. How come, Third Elder? Big Dipper turned to Third Elder in confusion. Third Elder glanced at Big Dipper, but ignored him. Chapter 1756, it was 7-Star who quietly answered Big Dipper. If we recorded them like this, and Sisphone turned it in as evidence to the courts, what would the viewers of this clip think? I don't know. Big Dipper shook his head. They'll only treat this recording as evidence captured through the extortion of a confession. It would be perfect if this confession was revealed in the midst of a casual conversation between Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan, 7-Star explained. Do as I say, and you'll be able to have a good sleep. Understood? Third Elder asked them before having someone lower and release them. At that moment, Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan's psychological defenses had collapsed already. Huang Mingquan, say, our act of hiring someone to kill Yi Shaoan and framing Yi Shouting and Yi Mufan won't be exposed, right? Liang Meixian tried her best to resist her fatigue as she spoke to Huang Mingquan. Don't worry, it won't. Our plan was absolutely perfect, and no one will realize it. Those two idiots, Yi Mufan and Yi Shouting, deserve it. Their whole family is idiotic. This whole family is rather comical if you think about it. Back then, Yi Shaoan owed a large sum of debt, so he embezzled a giant sum from the company's funds. Later, he befriended people from a mafia behind the back of the old geezer, Yi Hongwei, and framed Yi Shouting for the whole thing. Yi Shaoan teamed up with Yi and Guyueza to abduct Yi Wanwan and injected her with illegal drugs and recorded her. In the end, Yi shouting actually willingly took the fall for his daughter. Wasn't he dumb? Third elder smiled and ended the recording after Huang Mingquan finished speaking. That's good now, right? Quick, let me sleep. Liang Meixian growled. Perhaps it was truly too painful, but both of their acting skills were decent and the recording was taken in one shot. Not bad. Third elder swept his eyes over Liang Meixian and Huang Mingquan and nodded with a smile. You should have done this a long ago. You wouldn't have needed to suffer like this, am I right? Damn, you're awesome, Third elder. Big Dipper walked toward Third elder and gave him a thumbs up. You're a lot more awesome than First elder, Third elder. When Third elder, who intended to ignore Big Dipper, heard this, he became invigorated immediately. Of course. How could First elder, that old geezer, compare me? When has he ever outmatched me? What should we do with Huang Mingquan and Liang Meixian? Let them sleep? Big Dipper asked. Sleep? Third elder glanced at Big Dipper. Did your brain turn crusty? Keep pumping them with sleeping pills. They can sleep in 4 hours. Why do we have to wait 4 hours? Big Dipper didn't understand. Third elder snorted. Because we'll reach the humanly limit in 4 hours. If they don't get to sleep by then, they'll die. And the president made the order that we can't have any lives on our hands, so I'm naturally strictly adhering to the president's orders. Big Dipper was amazed. To the T indeed, not willing to cut them any slack by a single second. After saying that, Third elder left the house with his recording and went back with Big Dipper in tow. Third elder sincerely pleaded for forgiveness. President, because you requested for them to remain alive, I couldn't act uninhibitedly. And this was all I could do. After listening to the recording, Yi Wanwan's expression was indescribable. She rubbed her chin as she murmured to herself, Isn't this solution too villainous? I suddenly feel like I've become a bandit or some evil power. Big Dipper looked bewildered. Sis Fong, weren't we evil bandits to begin with? Yi Wanwan was startled and chuckled involuntarily. All right. I subconsciously used Yi Wanwan's line of thought to consider the situation. Yi Wanwan turned to Big Dipper, propping her chin on her hand, and grinned. Hey, you're right. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.